Factorio does have a vast array of military technologies, most of which I haven't used because I'm not playing the part of the game that involves killing aliens. But there's all kinds of stuff: flamethrowers, rocket launchers, gun turrets, laser turrets, flamethrower turrets, tanks, artillery, trains, giant walking spider mechs that can autonomously attack the enemies, atomic weapons. And that's without mods. As you can imagine, plenty of people have modded this game to have an even more dazzling array of weaponry. Ren says, I think every soda I've drunk in the last 10 years or so I've regretted. I just can't palate them anymore. I think I'm the same. I do drink sodas occasionally. Fanta in the UK, they've changed the recipe and it's now more luminous orange than it ever was, and I don't like it as much as I used to. Lady Aura says, the whole coke and cocaine thing made me remember a game I watched someone play that taught me way back in the day. Doctors would literally prescribe you heroin for things like melancholy or depression, which I also learned is not the same thing. Needless to say, they now have a much better understanding of the side effects of narcotics. I mean, on the one hand, our understanding of medical science has moved on. On the other hand, America has been /is going through an opioid addiction epidemic, which I feel like they could also have foreseen, but there we go. Hello, Alfie. Welcome in. Thank you for redeeming your flower of the day. Altibago says, I always get very confused when in Star Trek V, The Final Frontier, Spock calls a marshmallow a marshmelon, and Kirk and McCoy don't correct him. Ah, well, you see, in the future, Altibago, they're called marshmelons. They still don't have any melon or marshmallow in them. Okay, let's see where we were with our factories. So our progress on the rocket is now 63%. We are still a little short of the blue circuits, the processor units. Let's see if we can increase our production of them a little further. I think we're actually at the point where we are producing circuits faster than we're using them finally. So, how are we on power? Okay, I've got a little bit of power to spare. Let me double up on processor units. It's very much the rule that I follow in this game is if you don't have enough of something, double your production, and then if you still don't have enough, double it again, and keep doubling it, and eventually you'll have enough. There we go. Oh, hang on. Thank you. Probably going to be enough. El Tibago says cold, heroin. Itchy, heroin. Bit sad, heroin. Taken too much heroin, heroin. I mean, people use alcohol in that way, Tibago. I think alcohol is still used as a treatment for all of those conditions, including having had too much alcohol. Okay, are we now? Yeah, okay, we are now using all our circuits as fast as we can. In this game, you're either short of circuits or you're short of steel, we decided. I think. Hello, Craig Bear. Welcome in. Hope you're having a good weekend. Craig Bear says, as long as you're not addicted to gaming, it's the worst. I mean, if you mean gaming in its wider sense, which includes things like gambling, then I would agree with you. If you include gaming as in gachas with loot box mechanics and microtransactions, I would also agree with you. I would say being addicted to something like World of Warcraft is not as bad as being addicted to hard drugs or alcohol. I am going to draw a line there and say those things are not equivalent. And also that I definitely do not have a gaming addiction. I can quit anytime I like, I promise. Ren says, I learned not too long ago about drunken raisins as a home remedy for aches and pains. It's raisins soaked in gin. Yes, Ren. You can also skip the raisins and just drink the gin. That's also a common treatment. Craig Bear, I don't know if you've ever redeemed your flower of the day. It's only 10 channel points if you would like one. Raising the stakes. Thank you for the pun. Wondered how long it would be before the puns started. Just realised, I think there is some... Is there some copper under here? I'm just wondering if I can try to extract the maximum amount of copper possible from this belt. We can do that. Altibago says, I would disagree with, wow, MMOs are soul and time-sucking things. They are, yes. No, I'm not saying that addiction to them is a good thing. I'm saying they won't literally kill you. Is what I'm saying there. Lady Aura says, says every addict out there, I can quit anytime I want, I just don't feel like it. Well, if we're being serious, that's not what every addict says. Some very much do want to quit. No, I think I have a decent balance in my life because, especially in the summer, I'm spending a lot of time outside doing botany. I work full time, so I can't really control what I do with those hours of my life. And then, if I want to spend a little time relaxing outside of those things, then I think playing video games is a perfectly reasonable way to do that, especially since I tend to play puzzle games that you actually have to think about. I'm not just playing things mindlessly either. I'm doing hard puzzle games a lot of the time. And to be honest, I don't do that much outside of my streams. I do my streams every week, and then outside of that, I do play things, but honestly not that much. These are all the things that my bots have ended up picking up and carrying off somewhere. I'm curious how some of these things got in here. We seem to have lamps for some reason. But never mind. I thought we had a dedicated factory for lamps. Could be wrong. Lady Aura says, I've played plenty of WoW in my past, never been addicted. It's a game like any other. You just need to know how you pace yourself with anything else that can, with anything else that can cause addiction. Oh, I see what I did wrong. Emma, you idiot. I forgot to limit the inserter on the lamp chest, so I've just made a whole thing full of lamps. I only meant to make 50. That was a mistake. Okay, let's fix it now so that we only make 50 in future. Read contents, enable if lamps less than 50. Okay, let's solve that problem. Well, it hasn't solved it. We've still got a useless stock of lamps. LT says, well, that's your dark nights fixed at least. I could just spam them throughout the factory now. They do use power, though, to consider that. Yeah, I've never really been that much of a fan of MMOs. I did play a bit of RuneScape back in the day, and by back in the day I literally mean like 2001. Back when RuneScape Classic was a thing, which was the thing with the window was this big and the graphics were horrible. But in 2001 it seemed pretty good. I think it was called RuneScape Classic for a time after that. But it much amuses me now that people talk about old school RuneScape, and by that they mean RuneScape as it was in 2007-ish. Which, to me, that's not old school. To me, old school is how it was in 2001. And I think I last logged in 2004. In the unlikely event that I could both remember my password and my account hasn't been deleted, and neither of those things I suspect are true, then my account has been sat there for 20 years, which is terrifying thought. Izzy the Penguin, welcome in. Thank you for redeeming Kidney Fetch as your flower of the day. LT Bago says Final Fantasy 11 got me good. It wasn't all bad. I wouldn't know Emma without 11. Yes, so Final Fantasy 11 online was I personally I know the Final Fantasy series as a series of RPGs, but 11 online was a MMO, which a streamer used to play a lot of that LT Bago watched because he was also a fan of the game. But that same streamer also played Dorfromantik, which is why I watched them. Not just because they played Dorfromantik, but they... I think they had the biggest Dorf of any streamer I've ever seen. They had, I think it was about 2.5 million points, their Dorf. Which is much more than my 1 million. And I think even Luke, who is undoubtedly the best Dorf streamer out there, I think he stopped shortly after 1 million and started doing more difficult challenges like 1 million in hard mode. So that is still the biggest Dorf I've ever seen. So that was why I watched, and then I stayed because the streamer had a nice personality as well. But they stopped streaming a long time ago now. It was the middle of last year they stopped. We don't really know why they stopped. But LT Bago stuck around when I started streaming, which is nice. I don't know a lot of other people from that era. Pro Stoic is from that era. I still know him. I think that's about it. Okay, 88% done on the rocket. We are actually... Yes, we are actually at the point where we have enough blue circuits now. What are we short of? Oh, we're short of rocket fuel. We can probably increase our rocket fuel production as well. Lady Aura says, wow, was literally the only MMO I fancied. I tried a couple of others, but it never stuck. However, I much more prefer games with a multiplayer selection now. So I can invite whoever I like and have a chosen friend group to play with, because then I know I won't rely on teaming up with absolute jerks. Izzy, yes, Izzy, I'm glad Izzy is here, because I know Izzy is a big fan of WoW. I still play a fair bit of WoW 16 years after I started. Luckily, my relationship with that game is much healthier than it used to be. Yes, that's a good thing. Yeah, I never really had much interest in MMOs. To be honest, I never really had that much interest in multiplayer games at all. So, the arguments that Lady Aura put forward don't particularly apply to me. I played Core Keeper with friends on stream, but in general I've never really played games with friends. I've just played single player games. But I definitely agree that it's better to play with people you know than random people that you don't know. And glad to hear, Izzy, that you now have a healthier relationship with the game as well. That's a good thing, definitely. Okay, so we're now making more rocket fuel. I think, yep, a few more minutes and we should be able to launch the rocket, which is that's like beating the game, is when you launch the rocket. But as you can see, we're still a long way off getting all the technologies. So I'm going to keep going because I would like to research all the technologies because there's an achievement for it, and also to demonstrate some of the later technologies, like the atomic bomb, to Harry. Although I think he's already wishlisted the game, so maybe I've already convinced him. LT Bagger says, I much prefer co-op multiplayer than competitive these days. I don't mind... I don't mind being competitive. I like things like Polybridge, where there is a competitive leaderboard, but it's a single-player game. You're playing the game on your own, but then you get a score and you can see how you rank against people. And the monthly mode of Dorf. It's nice having a leaderboard you can compete against if you want to, and if you want to just enjoy the game, then you can. I think I enjoy that better than games where you have to be competitive against someone. I haven't played a lot of co-op multiplayer. I played Ibn Ob with Sarah with Stars, which was nice. I don't know if I think I'm just not good at teamwork. So I don't like co-op multiplayer games because I'm no good at teamwork. I'd like to work on my own and then compare it to how other people have done, I think, is how I like things to be. Easy says, I've always been much more into co-op multiplayer. I never got into PvP at all. It just causes me massive anxiety. So seeing such a wide range of co-op games recently is great. Yeah, I agree. I think having leaderboards and for a single player game sort of sits somewhere between PvP and just single player. It's like you don't have the issue of, especially in games with a chat feature, you don't have the issue of people being salty about losing and raging at you and that sort of. I don't like that aspect of multiplayer games, but a lot of games have PvP but don't allow that aspect, which I think is fair enough. It all comes down to what you prefer in the end, says Lady Aura. I played WoW with my older sister from the beginning, which is what I enjoyed so much about it. It was our thing and we shared the love for it. Never been competitive, PvP never interested me. It's a game actually just frustrated me and I was terrible at it. Autocorrect keeps changing and adding to my text. Oh dear, sorry, I do my best to read out what you were saying. Oh, look, something is happening. We made a rocket. Are you going? Wait. Why does it say 100% and then 2%? Are you making another rocket underneath the first one? Oh, no cargo landing pad. Ah, yes. So this is something that changed in where is it? So this is something that changed in version 2 of the game because of the expansion. So in the expansion, you send materials to and from space all the time. That's like the point of the DLC. What happened in the original game was you launched a rocket with a satellite in it, and because you get space science for launching the satellite. Launching the rocket is just what beats the game, but if you put a satellite in it, which is what this assembler here is for, you get science packs from it. The science packs used to just come out of the rocket silo, but now there's a separate building that they come out of, which is the cargo landing pad. So I actually need to build one of these before it will let me launch the rocket. I forgot about that bit. So we need 25 steel, 10 processing units, and 200 concrete. Right, good thing I'm making concrete. It's a rocket, says Izzy. It is a rocket. I was expecting to press the launch button and be all celebrating, and I've just realised that I can't yet. Lady Aura says, I know, but if you read weirdly structured sentences, autocorrect probably added something or changed something or both, and that's why. Also, deactivated autocorrect on your iPad, and it's still doing it. Ah, well, that's an Apple product for you. It's going to tell you the correct way to use it, and if you don't like it, then tough. Also, if it doesn't work, you're holding it wrong. How long ago was it? Oh, that's such an old reference. How long ago was it that, oh, you're holding the iPhone wrong? Wasn't that like the iPhone 3 or something? Doesn't matter, I'm still going to make fun of Apple. Okay, cargo landing pad. Since it's going to bring space science back, logically I would put it next to the science packs. I'm actually going to put it next to the rocket just so we can see what it does while we're watching the rocket. It was the iPhone 4. Okay, I was close with 3. And I'm not happy that I remember it so well. I think we're about the same age, Izzy. Don't worry about it. I mean, let's be honest, Apple hasn't really changed as a company since then. Okay. Right, where did that... There it is. Cargo landing pad. I'm going to plonk this down next to the rocket. No. Down this. There we go. Victory! 21 hours, 51 minutes and 11 seconds. For reference, there is an achievement for beating the game in under 8 hours. So we were definitely not playing fast by any means, but that's fine. I'm not here to play fast. I'm here to have fun. Congratulations, you have beaten the game by launching a rocket into space. You can continue playing the level as long as you like. Although you've won, still a lot to accomplish. Grow your factory, research infinite technologies, optimize your production, unlock more achievements. Yes, and of course, play the DLC. I'm surprised they haven't updated this screen for version 2.0. It should really say, if you enjoyed this, please buy our DLC. So there is a credits button. I'm going to continue for now. And yeah, here we are. Look, here's the... So this is actually a new... That animation is completely new. It was made for the DLC. Things can now come down from space into the cargo landing pad. And there we are. See, we have 1,000 space science packs in there now. Used by labs for research, obtained by launching satellites into space. And for that reason, I don't think you have to put this next to the rocket, so I'm actually going to put it next to the science labs, because that makes sense. Lady Aura says, fun fact, I don't even like Apple products and only got an iPad with an Apple Pencil to use as a medium for drawing, because typically Apple has been known as the best artistic tool in the past. I've regretted it ever since. I mean, the iPad is a good product, I'll be honest. It's an expensive product, but it is a good product. But it's the petty things like if Android users, the text show up green instead of blue. The social shaming of people for not owning an iPhone, which you could say is not Apple's fault, it's the fault of its customers, but I think they lean into it quite heavily. And it's very much a Gen Z problem and not something our generation ever cared about. What brand of smartphone we use, but it is a thing, unfortunately. Right, I'm going to drop that there. I don't think it needs power, does it? It kind of looks like it should need power because it has lights and moving parts, but it seems quite happy without any. I'll put it here. And I think all you have to do is use an inserter to take out the sciences. Inserter needs power. There we go. We now have all 7 colours of science pack assembled. This will limit it to 16 of the white science. We are. And if you thought 7 was a lot, I believe the DLC adds, is it another 7 or 8 or something like that? So it adds even more types of science pack. Tibago says it was even worse for left-handed people. Even holding it correctly was bad. Yeah, that was the iPhone 4 thing. They put the antenna. Those of you who are our age will remember that when mobile phones were the size of a brick, they used to have a giant antenna sticking out of them. And then the manufacturers realised you can embed the antenna in the case if you make the case out of metal. And then you don't have to have a separate one. And the iPhone put the antenna in one side, and if your hand was blocking that side, it couldn't get a signal. What modern smartphones do is the antenna is a whole loop right round the case. So you can hold it either side. Also, it helps that nobody holds the phone to their ear anymore because nobody makes phone calls anymore. So the chance of the entire antenna being blocked is lower. Okay, yeah, we have unlocked space science packs purely by sending a satellite to orbit. I did say I wanted to show off atomic weapons to Harry, so I'm going to research uranium enrichment first. Only needs 4 types of science pack, but it does need 1,500 of them. So we could be here a while. So we can work on expanding our factory a bit while we wait for that to happen. We can also work on reading chat, I suppose. Izzy says I have a 2018 iPad Pro that, despite it being a 6-year-old device, is still going strong. Absolutely cannot say that for any other tablet I had. Yeah, I've never really bothered with tablets. I'm either using my phone or my PC. If I need it to be portable, I'm using my phone, and if I don't, I'm using my PC. People have suggested I use a tablet for botany instead of a pen and clipboard, which is what I currently use. I fear that tablets are not quite resilient enough, especially weatherproof enough to be suitable for botany. And honestly, a pen and paper is just easier for that task. Lady Aura says, well, it didn't impress me, and let's leave it at that. I'm not shaming people who love Apple products, just don't try and force me to do the same. All good. Yeah, exactly. I'm not shaming people who love Apple products. I don't want the people shaming who have Apple products to shame me for not having them. There's a fancy thing you can do with this deconstruction planner, which I didn't show before. So if you click this button here, which is the deconstruct button, you can click there and then you can drag and it will deconstruct things. You can also just put this in your inventory and then it becomes an item. I now have a deconstruction planner as an item. And then you can right click on it and you can actually tell it what to deconstruct. So you can say, well, I want to deconstruct trees. And then when you can draw over your whole factory and it won't deconstruct the factory, it'll only deconstruct the trees. You can do that. And then the the robots will all come out and take your trees away without harming the rest of the factory. So this is highly efficient environmental destruction we are witnessing here. Izzy says different people are always going to like different things or devices. LT Bago says had a first gen iPad come into the charity shop not too long back. Still booted and worked. Even held a good charge. Ooh, Harry is Harry is drawing out the science packs with emoji. Thank you, Harry. Yes, that's a good reference. Red, green, grey, blue, purple, yellow, and white. In roughly the order of how complex they are to make. Izzy says, the main thing different here is the one I have still has the latest iPad OS. The iPad is a super useful YouTube before sleep device too. Yeah, I have also found YouTube before sleep to be helpful, although I tend to just use my phone for that. I suppose it's, yeah, maybe easier to look at a bigger screen than a smaller one. I find it so much easier to drop off if there's something playing, might not work for others. It's how my particular neurospicy interacts. Yeah, sometimes I'll watch YouTube before I go to bed. I tend to find it does help to have audio playing. Like I'll listen to a podcast or something. That helps me get off to sleep. But I don't need the screen for that. So a smartphone works just as well as a tablet for that purpose. Lovely Yari, welcome in. Thank you for redeeming hawkweed as your flower of the day. Right, when we were doing the rocket, I reconfigured my factory to divert everything to the rocket instead of to research. Because I wanted to prioritize the rocket. So I now need to go back through and undo all of that because I want to be able to make science again. Yeah, like here, currently yellow science isn't getting any blue circuits. I need to fix that. Fix that. I think that was all the places I had priority splitters going. Altibago says, I use DVDs. The best ones loop the film. Some are bad, though, with loud, short loop menus that don't go away. Oh, yeah, DVD menus. The young generation will never know the pain of DVD menus that don't work correctly on software DVD players when you're trying to watch a DVD on your PC. And the unskippable anti-piracy warnings for things. Izzy says I should try a podcast, would save having the screen on. It needs to be one I'm not actually interested in retaining info from, though. If I get into it, I can't sleep. Yes, I can see how that would be a problem. That is very true. By the same token, it needs to... Oh, that's not right. By the same token, it needs to be a YouTube video I'm not interested in retaining info from. So how are we doing with science? Looks like we actually have a full belt of every type of science. Which means... Yeah, we could actually potentially expand our science labs, although... this... Yeah, the lab at the end of the belt isn't getting any science, so I think we need to put more science onto the belt. I'm going to change this 16 to, let's say, 30. Because I think only putting 16 on at a time, the last lab isn't always getting any. I think there's going to be room for 30 of each. I'll soon find out if there isn't. Because I think you can get... well, if I wanted to work it out properly, it's 4 per tile. How many tiles is this? 72. 72 times 4 is 288. 30 times 7 is 210. So, yes. We should be able to fit 30 of each science back on this ring. The other thing I could do actually is upgrade the belt to a fast belt. I notice like this lab here is sitting idle and this one because it's waiting for red packs to come round. Yeah, if I upgrade the speed of this belt, then it won't have to wait as long for the packs to come round. In fact, we might as well go the whole hog and upgrade it to the highest speed belts. We haven't used the blue belts for anything yet. I might as well show off how fast they are. Assuming we've got some. We should have some. I did set up the machine to make them. He says, I usually stick a list video or something of the like on. Altibago says, I have the worst DVD for that. The original release of The Fifth Element has a DVD menu of a car flying through the city and the options zoom by. You have to time it right to catch what you want to do in the menu, and if you miss it, gotta wait for it to whiz past the other options. Okay, somebody sat down and thought, what's the worst user interface I can come up with? Imagine if other programs did that. That would make my job more interesting, to be fair. If I was using Excel at work and the save button, you had to wait for the save button to come past so you could click it. Right, I realised what I did wrong. I set up the machine to make the fast belts, but I never actually set up a chest for them to go into. So they're just sitting there. It's no good at all. Izzy says, I have an idea for the worst. This is a problem. We've given Izzy an idea for a game, and the problem is she is a game developer. So this is not an empty threat. She could actually make a really bad game if she wanted. Hopefully she decides it's not worth the hassle. Okay, let's make... how many do we want to make? Let's call it 200 of these. So enable that if that's less than 200. We also need a filter on there. We kind of need to do the same thing for these as well, don't we? We set up... I want the bots to bring me circuits and also red circuits. If I have the bots bring them to me, then I can make things like the logistics chests. There's no point automating them because you hardly need any. But if I have the bots bring circuits to me, I can make them myself without having to go and fetch them. There we go. We need one for these, one for these. We also need to wire them up. We don't need many splitters. Let's say 50. I think that's one stack. We get to set this, and oops, no. Enable this if this is less. Izzy's bad game idea is a slot machine for a menu. You never know whether they're going to start or quit until you pull the lever. Divago has found a YouTube video of the bad DVD menu posted in memes. Yeah, on my Discord, I guess. Let me do a quick Discord invite. Just in case there's anyone here not in my Discord who would like to be. You are all more than welcome to join. There is the link. And yeah, as for slot machine for a game menu, there's probably a game that's done something like that, although probably not for the main menu. There was a sort of... There was a phase of games doing silly things like quitting to desktop when you beat an enemy and then you had to restart the game to continue fighting and stuff like that. I think Undertale did it, and then because Undertale was good, everyone started doing it. I think people have realised it's actually not very accessible and not streamer friendly, and generally a bad idea to have your game quit to desktop in the middle of play now. But there was a phase when games were doing that. Okay, we are running actually short of red science. Of all the science packs, we're shortest of red science, which is silly because it's the easiest one. I'm going to be lazy and just upgrade these to tier 3 assemblers. Oh, these are using up all our gears. Our gear production. Oh, our gear production is low because we prioritised circuits. We probably need to go back to splitting that evenly. I think I just need more than one red belt worth of iron at this point. I'm trying to run the whole factory off this much iron. I've been trying to do that for a while now. And I need to face... I already upgraded to 2 belts of copper. I need to face the facts that 1 belt of iron isn't enough. I think I might need to... No, yeah, we've got 2 red belts of iron ore coming in. The iron ore might be okay. The problem is half of it's going to make steel. I'm not sure what to do. I think maybe it's time we upgraded to 4 full red belts. Iron ore. What is that copper doing there? Excuse me. What is that doing there? How long has that been sat there? You know what? I'm quite glad I didn't play this game in multiplayer. Because I'm sure Harry would have wanted to join. And we all know the shenanigans that Harry pulled in Core Keeper. Can you imagine playing this game multiplayer with Harry? There would just be random things on random belts everywhere. I've just there's 19 coal. There are 19 whole pieces of coal here. And I'm not sure I can even be bothered to set up a miner. I'm just going to mine them myself. This is the smallest coal patch I've ever seen. There we are. That's literally all there was. I need to update this to be 4 belts. We have this weird little arrangement. I'm not sure why I did it like this, where the belts meet each other. Then we need to... widen this to 4, but we do still have the stone mine here. This is all that's left of my original iron patch. This 1 miner. There is a small amount of iron still underneath this belt, which has lasted all this time because the miners couldn't reach it and there were belts in the way. We might as well try to extract it. Tidy this area up a little bit. Advantage of having the express underground belts, the blue ones, is you can go underground for much longer. The yellow ones have a range of 4 tiles, the red ones are 6 tiles, but the blue ones you can do 8 tiles. So I can just send the stone under this whole thing. Harry says, I would have set up a different factory for reasons. I would not have messed up your belts though. Harry comes from that school of cooperative multiplayer games, which is, I'm going to do my own thing on the other side of the map. Yes, I have seen people do that in people join multiplayer Factorio servers and then they'll build their own factory on the other side of the world, which sort of defeats the point, I feel. Hello, Saki Sato, who says, Boppity bippity, your breathing is now a conscious activity. Until we meet again. Now, listen, Saki Sato, you can't just come in here, drop that, and then leave again. I'm sorry, but that's not on. At the very least, you should redeem your flower of the day, or something like that. Yeah, so you see the blue underground belt can go all the way through here, and we can just forget about it. Can I... Harry says, I don't think you would appreciate an arms factory being added to your factory. It depends whether we were playing with biters enabled. If we're not, then making weapons is a bit pointless. Although, to be fair, when has that ever stopped Harry? I wouldn't mind as long as we could prioritise, you know, the science that we actually need to make. I don't know, I did consider opening my game up to multiplayer. But we'd just done Core Keeper, which was multiplayer. So, I don't know. I wanted to say that I'd beaten the game on my own, which I haven't done before. Sakiseta says, jokes, I am still here. It's my way of greeting people. Well, it's an interesting greeting, that's for sure. I usually just say hi, but maybe that's me being boring and old-fashioned. Welcome in, Sakiseta. It's good to have you here. We have actually just launched our rocket in this game. So in one sense we are done with the game, but we're also not really quite done with it yet, because I do want to show off a little bit more of the game, what the game has to offer, and I also want to get some more of the achievements. So we will be playing it for a little while longer yet. My current project is we need more iron. Help if I powered these miners, I think. Be a good idea. And then I'm going to merge this in. And just like you can do a priority splitter, you can do a priority merge as well. You can say input priority right. So the belt will pull this, the splitter or merger in this case will pull from this before it pulls from this. So that this little iron patch that we have left does actually get used up. These splitters here are just to spread everything out evenly, and then I think we should now have another belt free which we can use to build another row of iron smelters, assuming that there is space for them beyond the copper, which there should be. I'm going to put them up here. Yes, that's coal, so that's okay. This is where the iron comes out. That will have to go somewhere else. Are we still in robot range? We are still in robot range. Oh, look at that! Waves of robots building everything for me. Tobago says, I'm more of a sneaky troll. Like in Minecraft, I'm the guy who will undermine your whole base, line it with TNT, and then connect it to an unlabeled but very obvious button in your base. Saki says, question if multiplayer is your version the console support version. So this is just the latest version of Factorio. It's like 2.0.28. I am playing on PC, not console. I don't know if version 2 has console support yet. Don't really follow the progress on that. I'm sure they're planning it if it doesn't. This is not a multiplayer game. This is a single player game. But the game itself supports multiplayer. There are get rid of some stuff. There are public servers you can join if you go. You just boot up the game, click multiplayer, and then select browse public servers. And I considered having it be multiplayer so that my viewers could join me. And maybe I'll do that in future. I've played Factorio with other streamers before, especially Dragon Girl _89, who I had a lot of fun with playing with. But I wanted to do a complete playthrough on my own. If you join a multiplayer server, you don't get achievements for... You don't get achievements for things that the multiplayer server already did without you there, just because you joined it, which is a very reasonable way of doing things, of course. So I wanted to make sure I got all the achievements for myself. Right, I have actually done that wrong. That is not supposed to be a full belt of coal. That is supposed to be half a belt of coal. Sakisato says, I know that just wanted to know. Okay, thank you for clarifying. Yeah, I actually don't know what their plans are as far as console support goes. As well, put that iron in there. Right, hopefully there is room here for me to get iron ore all the way up. If I'd planned this better, I might have left space for 2 rows of iron furnaces. But I didn't. We've got 1 iron, 2 steel, a copper, a stone, another copper, and then another iron. Sakisetu says I play on the Switch, and I found out with another player that the PC needs to download a console version, so it's complicated. Okay, so yeah, so version 2 is available for Nintendo Switch as of 2 weeks ago. So yes, you should be able to play multiplayer between a PC and a console copy of the game as far as I know, but I can't say I've ever tried it myself. But yeah, as of right now, it's possible when you tried it before, the console, the Switch version wasn't updated to version 2 yet, because it has to go through a separate approval process with Nintendo. But it is now. 2.0.23, that's the Switch version. Yeah, okay. Okay, it's a few minor versions behind them. You're not really missing any features. I think those versions were just bug fixes. Right, here is the iron. Long awaited. Right, hang on, I need to make sure it only goes on one side of the belt. I hope you've been enjoying the game, Exeto. It is, I think, in my opinion, the best factory building game out there. I know a lot of people like Satisfactory as well. Right, now we need space to bring this iron back down. This is where we might run into difficulties. I haven't really left any space. It will have to be here. And then we try and fit it in with everything else. Take this to a red belt, I can make it wider. There we go. How are we doing on power? Ah, okay. We are right at our limit for power, so it might be a good idea to update our power as well. I could do some solar panels. I don't like solar panels because of how many you need to place to achieve anything. I could place some just to see how they work. The other option is nuclear, or just keep expanding the coal power forever. Wait, hang on, no, I've done that wrong. I don't want the splitters putting iron onto the iron ore onto the iron plates. I need another big ground belt. Then I've got to negotiate this lot to get the iron over here. How about we go like that? My base is mostly free of spaghetti, but this little junction here, this is definitely spaghetti central. That can be another tile bigger. That can go like that. Bring this under here. We have to use a blue belt here because this is using a red belt. If I placed a red belt here, the output would output this one rather than this one. So yeah, you can have two belts. You can have two underground belts of different colours overlapping each other. So I'm sending a belt underground here, even though there's another belt underneath that. But they have to be different colours. You can't weave two belts of the same colour together. Do that. Then that. Okay. Now we have two belts of iron. We're still too short of gears, so let's update this to a red belt. And we can dedicate a whole red belt that way and then have this merge in here. There we go. And have a whole red belt come this way. I might even do this. If we have any excess that's not needed for gears, then it can be used for circuits. And then there we go. Okay. We're using... Okay, yeah, so we're now using 2 whole red belts of iron flat out. Be enough to keep things supplied. Sekisetu says, I'm missing the green and red wire. I researched that technology and the wires just aren't there. Yes, so they've changed how green and red wires work. In version 1, they were actual items that you had to craft in here. Now you get them for free. There are little icons which my face cam is blocking. Down here, this one places copper wire to link power lines together. And then you have this one is red and this one is green. I think they've tried to shape it a bit like an R and a G. So you place this one, you click this one, and then you can just place red wires, and you get them for free. You don't have to spend copper on them anymore. So assuming these buttons are here on the Switch, then you can use those. Just come back. Tibago says it looks like it's fully crossplay, but for that to work, the versions must match, and the console version get updates later than PC. Yes. Steam users can choose which version to download. Yes, so I would need to downgrade to 2.0.23 if I wanted Switch players to be able to join. Harry says, I don't have the game yet, but looking at SteamDB, console is an option in the betas menu in the game properties. Yes, exactly. Executive says, yippee, so I'm unable to use wire systems because Switch don't have these buttons. Oh, Switch doesn't have these buttons down here. Oh, I'm blocking them again, but yeah, these... these buttons. So you have version 2 and those buttons aren't there. That's strange. Not sure how that works then. You can also press Alt and R and Alt and G to bring them up, but obviously that's not going to work on Switch either. So I don't know. But yeah, well, you need them for anything involving combinators. So there must be some way for you to get them. Factorio, Nintendo Switch 2.0, green and red wires. Okay, everybody is saying press Alt R or Alt G. That is not helpful. I put Nintendo Switch in my search. I guess nobody plays this on Switch. Okay, I'm afraid I don't know the answer, and a cursory Googling does not provide a solution, but I'm sure there must be a way. I don't think they would just leave out that entire part of the game on Switch. Okay, how is our science doing? Oh, we are out of blue science. Interesting. We have plenty of everything else, but we are out of blue. Let's see why we are out of blue science. What have I done wrong? Oh, there's there's 2 blue science packs. That's not a lot. Blue science. Blue science is out of engines and red circuits. Oh, I'm still prioritizing the rocket with red circuits. That's why. And engine. Are we out of engines? I think. Oh, and these are still these are still tier 1 assemblers. That's why. Let's upgrade all this to tier 2. Give us more engines. We haven't got enough red circuits, but we never do have enough red circuits. Oh, we're a bit low on copper. This should probably be a red belt. This happens a lot in sort of late. I don't want to say late game because people build enormous bases, but later game Factorio, when you've launched a rocket, you spend a lot of your time running around seeing where things are not getting enough throughput and upgrading them. Do robots even reach down there? Yes, they do. I'll try to find how it works, even if it means to go through everything inside the game. Yeah, you can. Well, so far I've only used switches for, only used wires rather for a couple of things, limiting the number of items the assemblers make, and also doing this sushi belt setup with the science. Although that is very much optional, you don't have to do your science like this. But you can do all kinds of things with them. It's amazing what you can do. Seem to be a bit short of plastic and also solid fuel. Are we making enough oil? I think we could perhaps do with making some more oil. Problem with that is we don't really have any more space. We'll have to start extending the oil setup this way, or make landfill and fill in this bit of water, I suppose. We've got just about room for one more, I think. Whoops, I accidentally trapped myself in here. Wait, we picked up some robots at some point. Oh, hang on. No, I can't put that there because then the heavy oil connect. Yeah, I'll need to make some landfill. Landfill is just stone, isn't it? Where's landfill? You can definitely fill in water in this game. I'm not making up features, I promise. But you need stone. Maybe you need to build an assembler. I can't remember which things are handcraftable and which aren't. I think it needs stone. There we are, landfill. It needs a lot of stone as well. One tile of landfill needs 50 stone. So actually filling in any significant area of water is very expensive. So we will only do a little bit of it. But yeah, really choose through the stone. Maybe even bulk inserters would be a good idea. Secretary says, I always destroy the ship with my guns. Yeah, I made a point of preserving our crash site as a warning to build things better next time. Some people immediately destroy it. It's not really near any resources that we would need to build on though, so I've just left it there. Okay, I'll limit this to like 2 stacks because otherwise we won't have any stone for anything else. Actually try to build a bit more. Oh, this, the reason I don't have one here is because there's iron ore there as well. So I need to have a splitter. Put the iron ore here. Wait, no. We got this first, output iron ore that way. There we go. Right, from now on, stone this way, iron ore that way. And if that's not enough, we might actually need to start bringing in stone by train. We're close to using up. There's a mixture of coal and stone here. We are close to using it. Actually, there is a bunch of stone. There is a bunch of stones sitting in a logistics chest over here, which we might as well use for landfill as well. Have I researched requester chests? No, I haven't. That's this. And we might do that next. At the moment, I just have the basic logistics system, which is these 2 chests, the red one and the yellow one. The red one is output only, so you put items in it, and then robots can pick items out of it when they need them, and then they can take them somewhere. The yellow one is input and output, so you can put items in it, the robots can take them out when they need them. If the robots need to put items back in the chest, for example because you deconstructed something, then they can put them in yellow ones. But there are more colours of chest on top of that. In particular, there's a blue one, which is a requester chest. You put a blue chest down and you tell the robots, I want you to bring stuff here, and they will bring it. So I can make them bring all the stone to this landfill assembler using a blue chest, but I don't have them unlocked yet. Also, we have iron. Hello, Vibe Raider 3000. Thank you for bringing your vibes to my humble stream today. I only destroy it because it has a cool explosion, referring to the ship. Yes, that is true. hopefully by the end of today's stream, we will have produced some cool explosions of our own. What are you making with the stone? Says Vibrator. I don't recognise it. It's not a wall or brick. It's landfill. I think they actually changed the landfill icon in 2.0. Yeah. The landfill icon used to have grass on it, and now it doesn't. And this is what the item looks like in game. Which I suppose is accurate, because it doesn't have grass on it when you place it. This is what it looks like. I just want to put one more oil refinery here. So I made a little bit of landfill. I haven't. There's not really much water near my factory, so I haven't needed to make landfill so far. Let me do this as an underground pipe, so I don't block myself in again like I did last time. And then let me do this properly with a space so that I can not have my petroleum pipe collide with my heavy oil pipe. There we go. I'm just sticking one more in because we're just slightly short of oil products right now. If this isn't enough, I'll have to just start a whole new row of them. Hello, Auburn Dusk, welcome in. Thank you for redeeming your flower of the day. Did you say pignut? So named because it grows in woods and has a big chunky root to it that's sort of nut-shaped. And so pigs will go rooting for them and dig them up. That's where the name comes from. There we go. Nope, there we don't go. I'm putting the wrong thing in there. There. Finally. And Vibrator, thank you for redeeming Wild Strawberry as your flower of the day. It's good to see both of you. We actually launched our first rocket about half an hour ago, so sorry that you missed that. But we are continuing with the game because I do want to see if I can get a little bit further with the tech tree. We're almost done with uranium enrichment. After which we will be... Oh, I wondered why the bots weren't blowing up the cliffs for me. It's because I never built a roboport down here. Well, that was a bit silly of me. I'm short of iron gears. Can I have the robots bring me iron gears? Well, no, because I'm out of robot range. That was the whole problem. I go back in robot range. Okay, now they'll bring me. Tiny but tasty, says T-Bago, in relation to wild strawberries. Yes, much sweeter than commercial varieties of strawberry. But also very about that big wild strawberry. And the seeds kind of stick out from the flesh rather than being embedded in it as well. They're a little different. But yes, very, very sweet. I'm going to extend my RoboPort here. A lot of space to put one here. Make space there, and maybe another one for good measure. Not quite. There. Right, now they will bring me things. Also, they can now use the cliff explosives. It occurs to me I haven't wired this chest properly either. I want to limit it using this method of limiting it. Cliff explosives. Not listed under military, despite being a thing that explodes, because they're used for non-military purposes, I guess. Yeah, I think I need more solid fuel production. It's the original reason I came down here. Oh, but I never automated the chemical plants, so actually the bots can't build that for me. I'd better build it myself. It's almost as though the original purpose was to provide a modicum of calories in exchange for transport and fertilizer. Exactly, yes. Believe it or not, fruits didn't evolve to be tasty treats for humans. Only trying to spread their seeds around. Let me bring a few cliff explosives with me as well. Okay, that should take care of solid fuel. We were also a little bit short of plastic, which is because we're a little bit short of coal. But we're using a mixture of coal and solid fuel for power. So if we make more solid fuel, that means we'll use less coal for power. Would solve that problem. Although, yeah, I think we could do with more coal anyway. Sorry, I've been neglecting lights again. I did have lights on my mine, but then I removed them in order to put more miners down. So, mine arrangement was only temporary. We do need more coal coming through here, so I'm going to make this into a red belt. We do. We already have like coal coming off of a train. That's all done already. I just didn't bother bringing more than one belt of it through. But you need a lot of coal because coal makes plastic and plastic make red circuits, and you need a lot of red circuits. So even if you're not even if you're using entirely solar or nuclear power, you still need lots of coal. Just the way of things. Make this a red belt. I think I'll make this one a red belt. This is the one supplying power. You can see it's running flat out as a yellow belt, and we're actually over our power capacity now, so we do need more fuel. We can help it. Speaking of more power. We have finished uranium enrichment, which is one step closer to being able to make nuclear power. Okay, run that as far as there, and then it splits in half anyway. I never requested red splitters apparently, and therefore I run out. Really? Upgrade that, please. We're not in Roboport range. Okay, make a Roboport and then upgrade it. Sakisato says, I finally found out how to get green and red wire. Hooray! I forgot Switch has quick panel. Okay, that's where it is. Tibago says, I have a theory that all strawberries have the exact same amount of flavour, but the bigger they get, the more the flavour is distributed throughout the straw. That's why small ones are super tasty and big ones suck. I think there's a lot of merit to your theory, Tibago. The one thing I would say is I think there is an exception to your theory that all strawberries have the same flavour. I think strawberries in Celeste, I think the golden strawberries would break your teeth if you actually tried to eat one. But as far as real strawberries are concerned, Saki Sato says nuclear power, nuclear yippee. Well, I'm torn between whether to do nuclear power first or nuclear weapons first. I know what Harry's vote would be for. So this, yeah, once I've done uranium mining, uranium processing, and Covarex enrichment. Then there's this technology for nuclear power, and there's this technology for atomic bombs. This is 5,000 science, so we might not actually finish it today. So on that basis, I'm going to do nuclear power first. But I might get the... I might get the nuclear, the atomic bomb technology off stream. We're not sat around waiting for it. Am I completely out of oil? I am completely out of oil, aren't I? Yes. What's happened? Oh, the oil train is not there. That's what's happened. Well, I have 2 oil trains, and neither of them is actually... okay, that might be a sign that we need to go and find some more oil. This map is particularly lacking in oil. All I found were these 5 wells down here, and these 7 up here. Despite exploring quite a large area. One thing I could do is put some speed modules in the oil wells, because they're infinite, but the amount of oil they produce declines over time, and I suspect by now they've declined to the minimum amount. But you can make them produce more than that minimum amount by putting speed modules in them. Vibrator says, I keep playing Factorio every now and again, always starting over, and I still haven't researched circuits or railways. I don't mean research on TechTree, I mean look on YouTube. Circuits, as in circuit networks and combinators and stuff, are very much optional. It is entirely possible to launch a rocket without them if they are confusing. Railways are also optional if you set your resource patches to maximum size, maximum richness, and so on. Then your starting patches are big enough to beat the game, I believe. And also, even if you play with these settings, you could just run a giant belt all the way from here to here. Like, there's nothing stopping you doing that. So railways are also optional, although they are one of my favourite parts of the game. So I definitely... they're not optional for me. And I'm sure Harry will feel the same way when he plays it. But yeah, the railways, if you haven't played a game with trains in before, like OpenTTD, railways can maybe be a bit daunting. Why am I not making any modules here? Oh, because there's no processing units coming in. Oh, yes. Emma, you idiot. I disconnected the blue circuits from the... here because I wanted to use them for rockets. But that means that none of my module machines are working. Hello Leia, welcome in. Leia says, hello friends, Happy New Year's Eve. Happy New Year's Eve to you too, Leia. Thank you so much for dropping by. We are just having a little fun in Factorio. We have beaten the game today. We just launched a rocket, but the game is not done. There is more content to explore, which we are now looking at. Izzy says, that reminds me I was working on a main line in OpenTTD. It's a long time since I played OpenTTD. I think I mentioned this. As in, like, decades since I played it, but it is that old of a game, even the open source version. I should probably play it again. I wonder if it would be a suitable game to stream or if that would bore people too much. But yeah, I should play it again. Maybe I will. When I, the problem is it takes a lot of time, as this sort of game always does. So I would need to either stream it or have the time to dedicate to it. Leia says, "Oh, pretty flower, pretty 3-petal white flowers with them." Yes, you got floating water plantain. I'm never really. I'm not that much of an expert on aquatic plants, but I do know that floating water plantain is an aquatic plant. I think the clue is in the name, and that it has white petals. Leia says, Ontario, the province I live in, has the trillium as their provincial flower, and they look similar. Yes, I just googled that. Also known as birth root, apparently. Also known as wake robin. But yes, is a similar. I think it's a bigger flower, but yes, similar looking. But, thank you for sharing that. I'm definitely not an expert on non-British wildflowers. LT Bagger says, water bananas, who knew? Yeah, not plantain as in banana. There are a lot of British wildflowers with plantain in their name, none of which look anything like banana. The two most common are greater plantain and ribwort plantain. Greater plantain is about this big, and it's very flat, and it has big round flat leaves. And you see it a lot on paths and like farm entranceways and stuff. It's very tolerant of being trodden on because it's so flat. So it grows even where grass gets worn away. So you see it all over the place in the UK. And yeah, it's called plantain, and it has absolutely nothing to do with bananas. It's not even in the same family. Right, yes, so I came over here to get some speed module 3s, assuming that we would have a full stack by now, and we didn't because I forgot I'd turned off my module machines. So now those are running again. How many would we actually need? I believe the oil pumps have... Oh, I was hoping I could check. How many module slots an oil pump has? Googling it. Oh, there we go. Okay, yes, it has 2 module slots. So in order to put 2 tier 3 modules in each one, I would need 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 20. Okay, I will come back when there are 24 speed module 3s in here. And I will go and put them in the pump jacks, because I think that is actually what our factory is short of right now. It's short of oil. Vibrator says, Gertchie, you seem like such a sweet person. I feel a little bad that you have to say things like Vibrator and LT Bago out loud. I don't see the problem. You just have that name because you enjoy raiding into streams and sharing the vibes with them, right? And LT Bago, of course, his name just refers to his love of tea. Actually, it doesn't. It refers to his name as the winner of the 2024 Men's Olympic 200 meter sprint. But he wanted to remain anonymous, so he changed a few of the vowels around. Vibrator, I've known, like, seen you in streams for a long time. It took me embarrassingly long to realise that your name was actually a pun. Like, it was like 3 months before I was like, oh, Vibrator, yes. I'm sure there's still people who have punny names that I haven't picked up on. Leia says, same idea, fried thin slices of plantain banana. They have that sweet and salty thing going on. Tibago says she knew what she was getting into when she modded me, don't feel sorry. I mean, the reason I modded you, Tibago, is because for my first streams, you were basically the only one here. So I didn't have a lot of choice. It took a while before I got any consistent regular viewers. I had Scrabble people show up for the Scrabble streams, but then they didn't show up for the other streams, so I couldn't really mod them. Just so you know, LT Bag was an Olympian. I was just saying that. Harry says his name is also an El Gato sponsorship. It takes the innocent a minute to hear what they're saying when it comes to my name. Yeah, so fun fact, LT Bago is an anagram of Be El Gato. So my conclusion is he must be sponsored by them. Which, you know, I mean, we know that El Gato like to sponsor streamers because Colo is sponsored by them. They have yet to reach out to me with a sponsorship deal, which is probably because the only time I ever mention El Gato is to complain about their shitty software. So yeah, not exactly what you want in a sponsorship partnership. He's an El Gato plant, says Izzy. Leia says, the way I was howling with laughter when I googled that Olympic event and saw the winner. I was crying, I was laughing so hard. Yeah, I told Nespa while she was live on stream, and she also googled it live on stream and had much the same reaction. Hello, Brute Force. Brute Force 242 says, hello, Gertchie, from me and the Panda. Hello to you and the Panda. The new LT Bago stream deck. Exactly, Brute Force. Let me give a quick shout out to Brute Force 242. Both Brute and his partner, Lana the Panda. That's Lana _ Panda. I can't shout them out right now, but maybe I will later. They are both awesome streamers. Lana recently did Red Dead Redemption 2, one of the favourite RPG playthroughs of any stream I've ever watched. Although now that Ophelia is doing Mass Effect, we may have another contender for that spot. Top 5 moments of the year. Yeah, just for context for anyone who's not in on the joke here. The winner of the 2024 Olympic men's 200 meter sprint was a gentleman from Botswana named El Tebogo, which is suspiciously close to LT Bago. It's like one vowel different. Other than that, it's spelt exactly the same. So we all concluded that he must be an Olympian. Did you at least get some of the merch? Oh, what from Elgato? You do have a Stream Deck now, don't you, Tivago? I mean, we get we get 5% off with Colo's discount code. Colo is another streamer in our community. A big streamer, much bigger than any of us. But that was about it. Although, Tibago, have you actually used your Stream Deck for anything yet? Because I know you don't actually stream, but I have heard that people use their Stream Decks for other things. And I'm curious if you have done that. Tibago says, we got to Lisa in a roundabout way. Alice sits raided into its practical magic. I was in the raid, then 1J suggested Emma raid Lisa. Yes. That is very true. It's weird how we find other streamers. How did I find Alice? Is another question that should be asked. I think it's because she was playing Dwarf. Sometimes I browse the Dwarf category. So that's actually the same way I found Tibago, was browsing the Dwarf category to find the streamer that Tibago watched. It all ties back to Dwarf. Everybody I know on Twitch, you can somehow link back to Dwarf Romantic. I browsed Dwarf Romantic, found Alice. I think it was literally Alice's first ever stream. She was just using Dwarf as something to test the stream with. Then Alice raided Practical Magic. And then Tibago suggested it as a raid, so I raided there. You use it for Spotify at the moment. Okay, that's interesting. And thank you, mods, for doing the shout out for Lana the Panda as well. Yes, Brute and Lana, both awesome streamers. Lana is definitely my favourite panda. Both of them should be followed and watched and loved. Harry has also acquired a Stream Deck and is using it for Elite Dangerous. Interesting. It seems like there's a lot of different uses for it besides actually streaming. I use it for Spotify at the moment, but it's fully set up for streaming. Yes, it does seem like El Tibago is fully set up for streaming in every aspect, apart from the bit where he actually presses the go live button. One day, Tivago, one day you will press that button and we will all come and support you. You know, you won't be streaming to 0 viewers or anything. We will all be there. Vibrator says your base is so organised. Can you look around on the map real quick? Yeah, we'll do that. Let me just go and fetch the speed modules and I'll give you a tour. It's basically a main bus design. You can Google how they work. But the idea is you put all of your resources and any intermediate products that you need to make things, you put in a line like this, and then you just branch off the things that you need. You have your rocket launch at one end, you have your smelting and mining at the other end. And you could put science at this end. The reason that science is at this end is because this is the end I started at. Which is slightly awkward because then you make the science, and then once you've made the science, it has to go all the way back to the start. And then I also have this sushi belt for science, which is completely unnecessary. But yeah, I'll give you a little tour. Let me just check. We've got 24 modules now. We have got 24. We've got 6. I'll start from the end and work backwards. Thank you for redeeming Blow High, Harry. Okay, I'll get Blow High and then we'll do a factory tour. How about that? Oh, we have show outfit as well. Okay. Uh, I need to change this redeem so it's not quite as central on the screen because I end up sort of having to peek around it. No, that's fine. I really should be showing it off to my viewers as well. This jumper, by the way, the lighting is a bit weird in here, and the color correction on the camera is also a bit weird. This top is purple in real life, my favorite color. It doesn't look purple on camera. It looks a sort of greyish blue. But I promise it is purple. And it has a nice pattern on it, and it's nice and cozy. And I have a flowery skirt today. My outfit. I have a headband because I'm not happy with my hair today, so I'm just hiding it. This is Blowhigh. He is soft and cuddly, and we love him. Boop. Eltibager says we are at the 2 hours to want me to wait until after the factory tour. Yes, we shall do factory tour and then we shall do botany. Blowhigh needs to see the factory as well, says Harry. Yes, Blowhigh, I want you to pay close attention so that when you're making your own factories, you can see how to do it, okay? Good. What am I doing with my life? How did we reach this point? Why am I talking to a stuffed shark on the internet? What series of decisions did I make in my life that brought me to this point? Okay. Well, this is sort of in reverse. We'll go from front to back in this factory because I'm at this end. This is all just making bits for the satellite. I'm not using solar power yet, but if I ever do, I'll use it here. Accumulators, solar panels, radars go into the satellite, goes into the rocket. This is rocket fuel for the rocket. This is the module production. This is not very much module production because modules are very slow to craft. But it's intentionally slow because I'm not making very many circuits yet. This is like a 2-to-1 ratio, so one tier 3 assembler pairs up with 2 tier 2 assemblers and then 4 tier 1 assemblers. Eltibago says, did you only ask so you could use that pun? Oh, Factorio, as in tour of the factory. Very good. This is my military science, so everything from here to here is military science, which I put at the end because I didn't actually need military science for my factory because I have biters turned off. I only built it because I wanted to have all the sciences. This is the yellow science, so the blue circuits and the what are these called? Low density structures. This is robots. The electric engines are only needed for robot frames. Then robot frames are needed for robots. But then the robot frames are also needed for yellow science. So that's why they're before the yellow science. I have a circuit thingy set up here so that if we run out of robots, then it inserts more automatically. Yeah, I play with mobs. Yeah, if you have biters on, you'll need more stuff in your factory than this because you'll need to be making ammo and you'll need to use some oil for flamethrowers and stuff like that. The reason I play with them off, at least for this playthrough, is I prefer the sort of logistics challenge and puzzle solving aspect of Factorio rather than the military fighting aspect of Factorio. If I play the expansion on stream, which I probably will, I'll turn enemies on for that. This is just making some stuff I needed for the factory, like miners and assemblers and power poles. This is purple science, so railways. This is tier 1 modules. I decided to make the tier 1 modules here for the science and then make them again later on separately for tier 3 modules, rather than try and send those all the way up there. Furnaces. This is the blue science, so that's after red circuits and engines. That was just some stuff I needed for the base. This is green science. Green science needs belts and inserters, so I built my belt and inserter assemblers here for making the factory, and then I put the green science right after it. This is just where the bots put random stuff they don't know what to do with. I like this setup for the belts and the underground belts and the splitters. It's quite nice having this 3x3, 3 types of item and 3 tiers of item. It's quite nice. Why is there a red circuit in there? Oh, I forgot to set the filter. Please do not put red circuits in there. That is reserved for blue belts. Thank you. This is circuits, which we don't have enough of. This is red science. This is my... I've just put this in. This building is actually new for 2.0, the landing pad, and then the science sushi belt. So the way that works is each of these inserters will only insert 30 of each science pack at a time onto this belt. So there's always 30 of each going round, and then whenever one gets pulled off, it goes down to 29, and then the inserter puts another one on. I need the struggle to survive aspect to keep me engaged, says I read it. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. I understand that. I'm currently building turrets. I want to blueprint the whole thing. Is that cheating? Oh, what, you literally want a copy of my entire factory? I mean, some of these things could definitely be done better. For example, this section here, where all the different resources cross over each other, this bit could be done better. So I wouldn't copy that part. In fact, if I was doing it again from scratch, this is where all my furnaces are. I would probably have my furnaces like here, in a line with everything else. So I'd have factory and then furnaces here and then trains over here, rather than stacking them up this way. But that's what I've done. So my furnaces are all up there. This was where my starting ore patches were, although they're almost all gone now. I have about 700 iron left, and that's it for the starting patch. I'm also running out of stone, which is a bit worrying. I might need to bring stone in by train soon. That was my coal starting patch. And then down here, I put everything to do with oil. Oh, here's concrete. Concrete is a bit random. It's the only thing that needs iron ore, apart from iron plates. So you have to split off the iron ore early and bring it down here. This is my oil, and then anything that needs a chemical plant rather than an assembler, I put here. So this is just all the chemical plants, and then this is just like the same arrangement as the factory, just going vertically instead of horizontally. It's the layout that interests me. I don't often have a good plan to start. Yeah, you don't need to do a fancy layout like this to get started. Like, to get as far as green science, you can pretty much just build whatever and it'll work. Once you get to blue science, and you have to start doing oil products, and you want to automate robots, and you want to automate all the components of your factory and everything, then it can be good to have a standard layout, because otherwise things can get in a bit of a muddle. And then over here, obviously this is the ore coming in from the trains. Here are the trains. If I add more trains, I can expand this up here if I want to, with more loops. So there's a loop of track here for the trains to come in, and then This junction here means they can exit this way or they can exit this way. I started off with this being just a one-way rail, but I had to change it to a two-way rail, at least as far as here, because we had some problems with trains getting stuck, even when I put signals in. This is still just a one-way rail. I'm going to hijack this train and ride it down to where the oil is to put the modules in. Oh, there's my coal power. I need to upgrade power as well. I haven't got round to that yet. And then, yeah, there's really only one way you can build an outpost with mines in it, and that's what I've done here. You have miners, you have a train. I guess that concludes the tour. Tibago, you can do the redeems now if you want to. Oh, Howie has added a quote. What am I doing with my life? How did we reach this point? Why am I talking to a stuffed shark on the internet? What series of decisions did I make in my life that brought me to this point? It remains a good question, I think. Okay, I'm going to turn this train off so it doesn't move without me. In theory, putting these modules in should speed things up significantly. So this is the speed it's working at the moment. And
campaign, Horse Heel, Elfduck, Enala Helenian.
Ellie campaign. Nothing to do with elephants, before anyone wonders. Thank you for the redeem. Just to show you, this is the speed without the modules. This is the speed with the modules. So you can see it goes quite a lot faster. On the other hand, this one is consuming 90 kilowatts. This one is consuming 216 kilowatts. So it's probably better to just build more of them than to keep putting modules in. The reason I'm putting modules in is I don't have any more oil rather, anywhere on the map. So I would have to go exploring to find some more, and then I'd have to build a railway to the new one, and it's easier just to stick these in and get faster iron. Keep saying iron, faster oil production. Let's take me back to the base. And while that is happening, we shall do our redeems. So yeah, when I'm not playing video games on the internet, I am a botanist in real life. And I like to celebrate that with my viewers. We have this thing for 1,000 channel points. You can choose any wildflower, and I do a little segment about it. Right, let me just disembark from this train so it doesn't drive off. There we go. We shall have Blow High back in just a second. Eltibago says, I'm going to suggest looking at the wiki after the book read. This has some very interesting uses and lore. Okay. Well, one of its common names is apparently Horse Heel, which does suggest what it could be used for. Although, which part of the horse you are healing and why, I do not know. So that will be interesting to find out. Oh, we finished nuclear power as well. So we can try and make that work after the break. If anyone's been watching for 2 hours, now would be a good time to take a sip of water, get up, move around a bit. We're not going anywhere, but we are doing a contrast activity from video games, I guess. Ooh. We find a picture of a campaign, which is it's composite, which is composites are the biggest family of plants, huge family of plants, and what they have in common is they all have a disc and rays. So they have a central part to their flower, and then they have bits coming out from the flower, like a daisy or a dandelion or any number of other flowers. Just looking for one that shows the leaves as well as the flower. That's a good one, I think. So you see the central disc and then the rays coming out from it. Though the central disc is also made of petals. Those are also flower petals, and then the rays are also flower petals. Composites are so called because the flower in a composite is actually lots and lots of small flowers glued together, in effect. Brute Force, thank you so much for redeeming your flower of the day, which is a buckthorn. I am going to grab one of my books and read a little about this plant. This is the implausibly heavy plant atlas. I should really start using a lighter book for this. I have other books with just as many plants in as this one that don't weigh as much. Okay, any campaign is here. Ow. Another disadvantage to heavy books is you squash your fingers in them. But what about bigger books? I don't think they make bigger books than this, Debagger. They already had to split it into 2 volumes because one volume on its own would be too heavy. There are not many books that are published still that are heavier than this one, I think. Okay, early campaign. A rather robust, conspicuous and persistent perennial herb. Widely if sparsely established from garden outcasts, on roadsides and lanes and by woodland margins, but seldom far from human habitations. In Scotland, it can occur in very remote locations that mark the sites of long-abandoned crofts. It has been grown in gardens for its medicinal, culinary, and ornamental value for at least 1,000 years. It is less frequently planted now, and although very persistent, it appears to be in gradual decline in many regions. So this is not a native plant. This is a I guess nowadays mostly planted as a garden plant because it does have this big striking flower to it. But historically planted for medicinal use as well. The point about it being a sign of abandoned houses is interesting. There are quite a few plants that fall into that category. They are non-native, but they stick around for a long time, potentially even hundreds of years, if they are planted in the wild. Pear trees are another plant that falls into that category. There are some places where there was a house or a farm hundreds of years ago that was then abandoned, and there's almost nothing left to show that there was ever a human settlement there, except there's a pear tree that would have been in the garden of the house. So this plant is similar. Distribution seems to be just scattered throughout Britain and Ireland. Sometimes with garden plants you find the records are clustered around large urban areas. Because this one tends, I think, looking at the map, to have been more of a historical thing, not so much a modern escape or garden plant. It doesn't follow that pattern of large urban centres because those large urban centres didn't exist hundreds of years ago. I'll bring up the distribution map on screen. Got to find buckthorn for cooking, says Brute Force. Oh yes, your flower of the day was buckthorn. Very nice. Harry asks, is there a large print version of this book? There isn't. No. The print is actually fairly large. They could probably have saved a bit of weight if they'd made it smaller. They could also have just not bothered publishing it at all, because all the information is available online. The only reason I have a printed copy at all is because I was personally involved in some of the recordings. So I like having a personal memento of it. So here is the distribution of a campaign. The finer resolution. You can see that, the records of it are few and far between, and not particularly clustered in urban areas. So I don't think it's modern garden escapes. These are places where it has historically been. Surprisingly many in Western Ireland. It's rare you see records of anything in Western Ireland, to be honest. Yes, apparently there is some of it in North Somerset. So this area here, North Somerset, this is where I live. I'm not going to be more precise than that. Apparently up on the Mendip Hills there are a few records of it. That's interesting. I don't think I've ever recorded it, so I'll have to go and try and find that one day. Yeah, that is a campaign, and Eltibago suggested we look up the uses for it on Wikipedia. So I'm going to do that now. A campaign, also called Horseheel or Elf Duck. Plant in the family Asteraceae. Asteraceae is, I said composites. Composites is the English name. Asteraceae is the Latin name for the family. It's the largest family of flowering plants. There's a folklore section. The plant's name, the Latin name, Helenium. The binomial name is Inula helenium. Derives from Helen of Troy. Elecampane is said to have sprung up from where her tears fell. It was sacred to the ancient Celts and once had the name Elfwort, traditionally held to be associated with the elves and fairy folk. It is not just native to. It's not just native to Europe. Obviously, it's not found in. It's non-native in the UK, but it is native to Europe. But it's also native right across Asia to Western China. So historically, it covered a big range. So it would have shown up in a lot of different folklore, I think. And it would probably have been one of the first plants introduced to Britain. If it was important to the Celts, then they would have brought it to Britain when they settled here. So, although the book says there's no evidence of it, I think it gave 995 AD as the earliest date that there's solid evidence of this plant being in Britain. Looking at the folklore, I suspect it was here long before that. Corrupted versions of the name Elecampane, such as Alicampane, Halicampane, has been used as miracle cures that could revive the dead. I think reviving... I'm not trying to dismiss herbal medicine here, but I think reviving the dead might be slightly beyond its capabilities. 17th century herbalist Nicholas Culpeper considered Elecampane to be ruled by Mercury and used it to warm a cold and windy stomach, to resist poison, to strengthen sight, and to clear internal blockages. Okay. Interestingly, that part is under folklore and not in the medicinal uses section, so I guess it didn't work. The herb has been used since ancient Greek times. It was recommended as used in oil and wine to treat the bites of vipers, spiders, and pine caterpillars. They are interesting. Yeah, Tibago says folklore and uses are interesting. I completely agree. In Roman times, there is a cookbook from the 1st century AD describes it as a plant for testing whether honey is spoilt or not. The plant is immersed in honey and then lit. If it burns brightly, the honey is considered fine. In medieval Europe, the roots were candied and eaten as confectionery. It was used in the manufacture of absinthe. It was formerly in great repute as an aromatic tonic and stimulant of the secretory organs. It is mentioned in an 1817 New England Almanac as a cure for hydrophobia, where the root is bruised and used with a strong decoction of milk. It is used in herbal medicine as an expectorant and for water retention. Right. Sounds like it treats a lot of things. Okay, and the wiki actually does explain that the root contains a chemical compound called helenin. I suspect the compound helenin was named after this plant, Inula helenium. C15H20O2. Yeah, I mean, I'm not much of a chemist. That's the chemical structure of the secret ingredient of elecampane roots, which apparently does something. Apparently it's found in many plant species, but particularly elecampane. Yeah, that's the information that the wiki has. Thank you for recommending that plant, Tibago. That is a very interesting one. I know it's nice to just look at the flower and go, ooh, pretty flower. And it is a pretty flower, but it's nice to learn something as well. I'll just put these books back. Retrieved the blowhigh. We shall return. Factorio. Our nuclear power research has finished. Good news. Let me queue up the logistic storage as well, because I had a use for that. Now, the next thing I need to do is go and put speed modules in the other half of the oil production. So let me just tell this oil train to come back. One of the nice things about this game, I suppose, a game like OpenTTD, obviously you don't have a player that walks around in the game world. You can just go and do anything anywhere at any time. In this game, for building purposes, you are just a character walking around, but things like trains, you can just go into the map view and click on a train and tell it to come back if you need it. You don't have to run all the way out there to get the train. Okay, that's now going to head back. El Tobago says, I know I usually info dump some extra stuff, but this one was a lot. It was, yes. I am amazed by the variety of different things that it was supposed to be able to do. The wiki doesn't comment on how effective the plant actually is at doing those various things. The one about testing honey in particular seems a bit... Like, how did anyone even come up with that idea? Okay. oil should be going slightly faster now. Although, I mean, this green bar is the progress towards the full inventory, so it's still not exactly fast. It's better than it was before. Exactly, Harry. Yes, in theory this diagram explains how the logistics system works, but I'm not sure it makes a lot of sense. All you need to know is the blue chests are the ones that you use to request items. But they're not the. When you research robots, you only unlock red and yellow. You have to unlock blue as a separate research. Right, we have finally mined out our starting iron patch. It took us over 20 hours, but we did do it. Oh, actually, we need to keep this bit, don't we? Yeah, this is the belt for iron that was under here, and there is still 700 of it left. Yeah, we need to keep that belt. We can replace this. Go some way towards cleaning up the mess. Oh, hang on, I've put my inventory was full, so what I've done is I've put underground belts onto my belts, which is not going to end well for anyone. Let me dispose of this excess iron quickly. Yeah, in this game, if you try to deconstruct something and your inventory is full, the game will still let you deconstruct it, but it will drop the items on the floor. And when they're on the floor, they can be moved by belts. So if you're standing over a belt and you deconstruct something and you don't have space in your inventory for that thing, it will end up just going through your factory on a belt and you'll have to chase after it. Which can be fun. For a certain definition of fun. Okay. Maybe we can figure out how nuclear power works, because we are facing a bit of a power shortage now. So this is the one part of the game I've actually never done, and I have no idea how it's supposed to work. I know you need to make these. This is a nuclear reactor. 500 copper plates, 500 steel, 500 circuits, and 500 concrete. That is a lot of stuff. Okay. 500 concrete. Nom 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 nom. 500 copper plates. Steel plate. Oh, sorry, I turned the volume down when I was doing the botany. I'll turn it back up again. Not that there's much happening at the moment. 100 steel. $500 steel. And I have my request set to 200 circuits, which means the bots are helpfully taking away all the extras. Please don't take away the extras. Please bring me 500. There we are. 500 circuits. As I say, I have no idea how to use these, so I'll put it somewhere vaguely near the uranium. We finished the logistics system. Well, let's start atomic bomb. We probably won't finish it this stream, but we can start the research. Nuclear reactor. Let's clear out some space here. Uses uranium fuel cells to generate heat. The heat output increases when built next to other reactors. Well, that would mean I have to craft more of them. They're pretty expensive. We'll start with one and see how we go. So we need to make uranium fuel cells. How do I make... here we go. So uranium fuel cell is made with 19 uranium-238 and 1 uranium-235. How do we make those? Okay. So we take the uranium ore, put it into a centrifuge, and we get 0.7% 235, 99.3% 238. Okay. I don't know if those ratios are in any way realistic, but that's what we're going to get. Then I need to make centrifuges, which is this building. This is also an expensive building. And we probably need multiple of these. So let's make 4 of them to start with, maybe. So 400 advanced circuits. Let's put this down to 400. But we also need 400 gears, 400 concrete, 400 steel. I'm thinking maybe I should set things up so that these things get delivered to me automatically. They sort of already are, except that these are limited in size. So let's maybe make this bigger. We'll filter it properly. Tibago says, okay, I'm going to assume it has something to do with helenin being freely absorbed by alcohol, and the main way honey goes bad is by absorbing enough water to start fermentation. Interesting. I have no idea. I'm not a biochemist. I'm just a botanist. That's a side of botany that I really know very little about, is the different chemicals that plants produce and what they do, what their function is. I'm just making these chests able to store more items so that the bots can bring me more once. Maybe 2. These stack to 200, so 2 stacks is 400, whereas gears only stack to 100, so 2 stacks is only 200. Do I have one for steel? I don't think I have one for steel. Let's set a thing up so that bots can bring me steel as well. There we are. Look, we've got the... So there's actually 5 types of logistic chest. I'm not really sure what the green ones and the purple ones do. I've never used them. But I've used the red, the yellow and the blue. Most of the time all you need is a yellow one. Out of range. Oh, I can put it here and it's in range. Okay. So we use this to store steel, which the bots can then bring to me. So then if I suddenly find myself needing 400 steel to build something, I can just put a request in here for the amount of steel I need, and the bots will take care of it. Although right now I'm going to do this. I happen to be next to the steel. Also 100 concrete. That's a good point. Do I have concrete as a logistic request? We can set that up as well. Why not have everything? Yeah, that's just a steel chest at the moment. Upgrade that to one of these. Now, yeah, okay, now bots will bring me concrete. The bots are probably thinking, you're being lazy, standing next to the concrete chest and demanding we bring you concrete. But they will still do it. They will just judge you silently in the process. Right, I now have enough to make... Oh, I only have enough for one. Oh, I still don't have enough gears. Sorry. Gears. Oh, I have a gear request already, but I need 400. Yeah, now the bot should just bring me everything I need for... I could just fetch them myself again. Welcome to being lazy with Emma. El Tibago says, this is why the assumption, I have no real basis for this other than assuming and Google. I'm not sure which is reliable, which is most reliable, Google or making stuff up. I have no vast knowledge of anything, but I know enough about everything to get by. You have an in-depth knowledge of the kind of crap that people bring to charity shops because they don't want it anymore. Which is an important thing. It's important that somebody understands all that stuff. Right, what do I do with the centrifuge now that I have one? I assume it needs power. Select a recipe. So, nuclear fuel. Oh, nuclear fuel is rocket fuel plus uranium. Wait, burnable fuel? Uranium fuels. Oh! Hang on, so there's uranium fuel cell, and then there's nuclear fuel? Which is like a... Hang on, can I... Does that mean you can run your steam engines on nuclear fuel? Wait, can you run your trains on nuclear fuel? Can I have nuclear trains? I want nuclear trains. Hang on. Let's... All I know is you put the green glowy rocks in the green glowy rock smasher. And... It does stuff with them. Okay, these buildings are quite slow. I'm glad I made more of them. Sounds very Fallout universe. I mean, one good thing about this game is the radiation doesn't kill you. I'm currently holding several hundred uranium ore. If this is satisfactory, I would now be very dead. In fact, I would be very dead just for standing in this general area. In Factorio, you just, yeah, whatever. It doesn't do you any harm. Harry says, in Satisfactory, I power my plutonium waste dump drone with plutonium fuel rods. I don't think this game has plutonium. Maybe it does in the expansion. I haven't looked at the expansion. But the base game has uranium, and it's it's the fake fictional glowy green rock uranium, not real uranium. Fun fact, uranium doesn't glow green. The reason that nuclear waste and nuclear power and just nuclear things have been associated with a green glow is because of the use of radium in things like watch dials, which then emits a green glow. But that's radium, not uranium. And also uranium glass. If you make glass out of uranium, it does glow green under the right light. I mean, it doesn't emit green light, but it appears green. But uranium ore is not this bright, glowy green colour. Uranium ore just looks like a rock. It's just a spicy rock. It is a rock that makes a noise if you hold a Geiger counter up to it. And in a nuclear reactor, you don't get green glow. You get blue glow, funny enough, not green. Right, what's this making? Oh, yeah, so this is actually making two things. It's making uranium-235 and uranium-238. Which is interesting. We don't have anything else in the game, I don't think, that has two different products. Especially not two different products with probabilities. Maybe that's something else they've done more of in the expansion. These are the wrong way around. This is going to output uranium. Okay, looks like we didn't hit that 0.3% chance for a bright green one. But assuming that at some point we do, we can shove a splitter in here and say, please put the bright green rocks over there. There is the blue glow, says Harry, of Cherenkov radiation, which is radioactive particles breaking the light-bearing water. Yes, that's what I mentioned. So you do get a radioactive glow from a nuclear reactor, but it's blue, not green. in real life. The green is a myth. Okay. So now that we've made these rocks, how do you make these? Oh, I think these just need a normal assembly machine, I think. Yeah. Oh, but they need iron plates as well. So let's bring iron plates from our factory to here. There. It's a little tricky. It's too long even for a blue underground belt, so I'm going to have to do that. Okay. Debanger says pre-war Fallout lore is that nuclear power took off in a far bigger way than the real world, like all cars in Fallout are fusion powered pre-war. Yeah, for a moment it did seem in the 1950s like everything in the future was going to be nuclear powered. Until people came to their senses and realised what an insane idea that would be. Okay, and then we feed the rocks into here, 238 and the 235. I'm a little concerned we still haven't made any uranium-235 though. Because how are we supposed to... actually, yeah, it wouldn't even get filtered out because this blocks up. So perhaps we should put the 238 into a chest and then feed it into here from the chest. And then also feed this in. That way, if we do get one of these, it can still go up there. There we go. And then that produces uranium fusel, which goes in the reactor. Okay. There. And then what happens? Okay, reactor generates heat. So these fire symbols around the edge, I think, is where it can output from. What do we do with that heat? Because we don't have heat as a resource in... Like in our steam engines, you have water and steam as a resource. So water goes into the boiler turns the water into steam. The steam drives the steam engines. So I guess we have to use this heat to boil water into steam to drive turbines. That's how it works in real life. So what do we use for that? Ah, heat pipe. Oh, heat pipe and heat exchanger. That makes sense. Right, so heat pipe just transmits the heat, I guess, and then heat exchanger, right, consumes water, consumes heat, generates steam. Okay. So it's all this is a different way to get steam than sticking coal into a boiler. We do need water though. And we're kind of not near the water, so I need to run a water pipe up here. Or move the reactor down here and bring the fuel cells over. I'm not sure what's easier. So yeah, that might be a good still no shiny green rock. Oh, we're not actually maxing out these. Maybe I should add some more miners as well. I only built 4. Sulfuric acid. Let's make it 12, because why not? That's enough. There we go. Yeah, that looks like enough uranium to keep us going. Yeah, actually, this is a good opportunity to show off the blue logistics chest. Because if I make a yellow one and a blue one. If I have this output into a logistics chest, and then also put a roboport so that the bots can get here. There. I can put a blue chest where the reactor is and just request nuclear fuel cells, and then the bots will bring them for me. So rather than having to figure out how am I going to run a belt all the way across the base, I can just use bots. The disadvantage to using bots rather than a belt is you can only transport a few items at a time. But we're not going to be making very many of these compared to like how many iron plates we're making. So I think that will work. And then I can build the reactor next to the water, which we need lots of, I think. Like if we need lots of water for the steam engine. Okay. Put it down here. So I'll need an offshore pump for the water. I need my reactor. Oops. Need a heat exchanger. Oh, heat exchanger needs copper. Can I request bots to bring copper to me? Be nice. I built that pylon one tile too far for it to work. Try that again. Please, could I have some copper? No. Okay. I will set up copper like I set up everything else so the bots can bring me some else. I need to keep disposing of stuff in my inventory because I keep running out of space. I keep picking up robots by mistake as well. It's annoying. I don't need wooden chests anymore. I don't think we ever needed 100 underground belts. I think 50 is... don't really need these rails. Let's get rid of the request for rails for the time being. There we are, now I've got a bit more space. If I put a thing here and an inserter and limit that to like that, then I can just request copper plates whenever I need them. Maybe I'll do the same thing for iron plates in case I need to request those. Then I, because what I don't like is having to run back to the factory every time I forgot something, and then the bots can just bring it me. Hello Hazel Azazel Cell. Thank you for redeeming your flower of the day, and thank you for being cute. Let me do a quick shout out to Best Hazel. Awesome, awesome streamer. I hope you are having a good day. I hope you had a good Christmas or festive period. Tibago showing off his limited edition cute emote. How goes the factorioing, says Hazel. We have successfully launched a rocket today. So we have beaten the game in a sense. But there's lots of extra stuff after you beat the game, which we are looking at now. I'm trying to figure out how nuclear power works. In the game, not in real life. I think I know more about how it works in real life than how it works in the game. Best Azazelzel. Yes, that is very true, Tibago. Best Hazel and Best Azazelzel. And Best Hazel Azazelzel. It never was so much best crammed into one person. Okay. I think I have everything I need now. Fuel cell goes in nuclear reactor. Heat exchanger connects to nuclear reactor. Turns heat into... takes water in and uses heat to turn it into steam. And then... the heat pipe is what connects... Oh wow, each of these heat pipes is only one tile, and it's 20 copper and 10 steel per tile. That's expensive. So that transmits the heat to here. Obviously we need to connect the water up. And then steam comes out. And then there's this steam turbine. Consumes steam to create electric energy. Okay. I am slightly confused because this building consumes steam to create electric energy, but so does the steam engine. This consumes steam to create electric energy. Why are the two? I guess you're supposed to use this one with nuclear and this one with coal, but they both take in steam. Hang on. There must be a difference, but I'm curious what the difference is. If I go and hook one of these up to here, does it work? I mean, it's spinning. So this steam engine is producing 900 kilowatts. This is producing 1.8 megawatts. Okay. But it's consuming twice as much steam. Yeah, and now its power's dropped because we ran out of steam. So if I have just one of these on its own... Because a boiler produces 60 steam per second, and this takes 30 steam per second, and this takes 30 steam per second, and they produce 900 kilowatts each. This takes 60 steam per second and produces 1.8 megawatts. So it's just 2 steam engines wrapped up into a bundle, I guess. Which is nice because it saves space, but because I only unlocked these when I researched nuclear power. So I guess in addition to unlocking nuclear power, it gives you a steam engine that's half the size, which is nice. So I could replace all of this with half as many turbines. The thing is, a steam engine costs 31 iron plates, and these cost 120 iron plates and 50 copper plates. So it's a lot more than double the cost for double the power output. Okay. Well, I'll leave my steam engines here then. Does that mean that you can run one of these steam engines off of a nuclear as well? I don't know. So many things I don't know. This is the one part of the game that I've never really done before. Let me hook this up to power. And then what we wanted to do was have a logistic request here. Except that's out of range. We need another roboport. Nothing's ever easy. Hazel says you are all too sweet. This is not true, Hazel. You are deserving of every amount of sweetness that we provide, and we would be doing you a disservice if we provided any less. Okay, and then, so what you can do with one of these is you can tell the bots, you know, bring me 100 steel, and they would just bring you 100 steel. I'm going to say, yeah, just bring me as many fuel cells as you can. And then every time we craft a fuel cell, it should put it in here, and then we can insert it into the reactor. The question is, have we actually made any yet? Oh, I still have all these requests active. Yeah, the bots are going to be frantically bringing me all kinds of weird and wonderful things because I've requested them. They're just doing their job. What's not doing its job is our centrifuges. Don't seem to be making any spicy green rocks. They're only making the boring green rocks. Yeah, boring green rock, spicy green rock. 0.7% chance of spicy green rock. So far, no spicy green rocks. Oh, also, please stop using this as a dump for stuff that shouldn't be in there. Please go put that crap somewhere else, thank you. I guess I could build more centrifuges. Hopefully the American government doesn't show up and install a virus on my centrifuges to stop me enriching my uranium. Because I assure you that I am using it only for peaceful power generation purposes. Please ignore that box in the top right corner that says 14% complete with atomic bomb research. Any weapons inspectors are free to tour my facilities. You will not find any weapons here. I promise. Apart from this belt full of ammo and grenades that I'm feeding into here, but that's just for research purposes. It's literally being used to make science packs. Please don't invade and bring freedom to my factory. I do not require it. Right, these do not need to be fast encircled, by the way. The speed that these buildings operate at. build some more. Maybe that would be enough. Realise the hard part of nuclear power was just getting the shiny green rocks in the first place, but I guess it is when you think about it. Enrichment is the tricky part. If anyone sees a shiny green rock, let me know. Yeah, Harry, I mean, we're not going to be doing any of that today. Look, we're still not done with the... If you really want me to blow stuff up, there are other forms of blowing stuff up that I have unlocked. Our armour. Throw a turret. Oh, actually, that's a point. I should build a flamethrower. I need to make the ammo. There's a specific reason why I want to build a flamethrower. So we have covered a number of methods in this game for removal of the botany from the landscape. From least to most efficient, we had cutting the trees down by hand, shooting them, exploding them with grenades, running over them in a car, and deleting them with robots. Start producing electric power by nuclear power plant. I guess the bots have delivered a fuel cell. Yes! Look, we're making nuclear power. Yes, look. They made one. Okay, how much is this making? 5.4 megawatts. That's... Okay, and we're using 5 water per second out of a maximum of 1200. So I'm guessing you can run more than one of these off of one nuclear reactor. Everything is very expensive that's related to these buildings, so... Okay. So that's 2, but we need to put the heat in with heat pipes. Oh, that doesn't line up. It's cheaper to build the pipe somewhere else than it is to build another heat pipe. Okay. And then just put a single pipe here. Okay. Oops. Oh, because I didn't connect that back up. Okay, is that enough to run 2? Okay, so we now have 2 of these running. Okay, so each of these is producing about 5 megawatts. That is quite a bit more than a steam engine would produce. And okay, yeah, this is how long one fuel cell lasts. This bar here that is slowly depleting, and then we get depleted uranium fuel cells. And yes, I'm not being irradiated, despite standing here right next to what looks like, on the face of it, a very shoddily assembled reactor. I'm fairly sure real reactor vessels don't have aren't just riveted together like that. And again, the green glow that it should be blue. It shouldn't be green. How many of these can I actually make off of one reactor? I do not know. I'm sure it's quite a few. Because yeah, this says fuel value 8 gigajoules. 8 gigajoules, and it's depleting that fast. It must be possible to run a lot of... Just thinking, this... I'm not sure how fast this is. It seems to be like 3 minutes. If it's 2 or 3 minutes. If it's 3 minutes, that's 180 seconds. So that would be like 20, 30, yeah. Yeah, you could run at least like 10 of these, I think, off of one vector, but I don't know. I haven't tried. More heat. Okay, well it's running 3, that's working okay. Oh, there's also a temperature gauge, which is currently 650 degrees and climbing. Do I need to worry about what happens when this reaches the top? Does something bad happen? Also, we're stacking up depleted uranium fuel cells here. I guess I need to get rid of those. Yeah, if I put an inserter here, it will unload the depleted ones. Let's put them in a chest. Can I do anything with these, or do these just stack up as waste? Depleted uranium fuel cell. Uranium fuel cells. Yeah, I don't think I can do anything with those. Let's find out the fun way. I mean, anytime nuclear power is involved, the answer is always find it out the fun way. Anyway, we have nuclear power. It's currently accounting for this much of our power requirements. The good news is we're no longer running out of power. But yeah, this is my coal power. This is my nuclear power. You can see already from just 3 turbines we've got that compared to this from all of these steam engines. So that's good. But yeah, I mentioned I wanted to make a flamethrower, and in fact I have made a flamethrower. Because there is a way of destroying trees that I haven't shown you yet. And I think we should definitely be comprehensive here and show all possible ways of destroying trees. Now this does need crude oil, which is a slight problem because we are currently out of crude oil because we don't have enough oil production. I'm going to disconnect the rest of my factory from the oil so that I can make some flamethrower ammo, so that I can demonstrate how it works. Okay, where is the thing? Oh, hang on, I think it's a chemical plant you need. Flamethrower. No? Oh, yeah. Oh, it's... for some reason it's on its own tab. There we go. So steel, I'll just chuck the steel in. And then... that to a... yes. We don't have any oil though. Let's just tell our oil trains to come back with whatever oil they have. These go back. Yeah, if we do keep playing this game, probably the next thing we need to do is find more oil, because even maxed out with speed modules, these pump jacks on their own are not satisfying my factory. Okay. Oil. We need to actually pipe it into the plant. Flamethrower ammo. Okay. So this is tree destruction method number 6, 7, which is start a forest fire. Very effective. Just one flamethrower ammo capsule, and then it will spread by itself. Please ignore the thick cloud of black smoke. I'm sure it's not harmful in any way. Hang on, let me reconnect the oil so we can actually run the rest of our factory still. Thank you, Harry, for sharing every flame emote you have, it looks like. Disconnect that one. Including the Colo one, where it's actually Colo's hair that's on fire, which is a bit worrying. I know she's ginger, but still don't want your hair to be on fire. Okay. Right, so the temperature has reached 999.98 degrees, and it's stopped going up, which I guess is a good thing. Yeah. Bruno explosion. Yeah, I wonder what happens if you shoot a nuclear reactor. Ah. Okay, that answers that question. I like how it says Gurch was killed by Gurch in the corner there. I do not want to restart level. What is this button here? Yeah, let me just play the last 24 hours worth of game again. Respawn. Well, there's your explosion, Harry. There's that explosion you wanted. Yeah, there we go. So it turns out you don't actually need to bother researching atomic bombs. If you're dedicated enough, you can create an explosion yourself. This is going to be quite expensive to repair because it did destroy everything, even this Roboport. It almost destroyed that one. Okay, turns out shooting a nuclear reactor is a bad idea. Oh, there's a robot. A poor destroyed robot that got caught in the blast wave here. Somehow my entire inventory survived unharmed, which is impressive. I do not need... well. Let's not do that again. Or at least if we do it again, let's do it from a safe distance. Do I have any weapons with a long enough range to avoid the blast wave so we can actually watch it happen? I guess we need to build all this again. Maybe I should automate these things so that we have them when we inevitably explode them. Use Roboport. The problem with automating them is, at least for the reactor, you need concrete. So we'd have to put concrete on the bus. Maybe what I'll do, I'll automate these things, but not the reactor itself. So I just need enough stuff to build another reactor. 500 red circuits. 500 steel. At least I can just ask the bots to bring it for me. 500 copper, 500 concrete. There. Okay, I'll set up automation of the other things because we should have enough. Should be able to make those. Oh yeah, now our power is suffering again because we don't have the nuclear power anymore. And I'm now using a lot more power than I was because I've got all these robots whizzing around. The orange line on this graph is robots, Roboport charging. So the bots are currently using more power than the entire rest of my factory. More than the assemblers and the miners and the other things. Just from making the robots fly around because Emma was too lazy to pick everything up herself. Okay, I don't know if that explosion effect that we just saw is the same one as the atomic bomb. In which case, this research might be a bit anticlimactic now. Or if it's a different one. But at least, I suspect the atomic bomb is cheaper than an entire nuclear power plant. So you can... you get better value for money on your explosions. I think we actually have everything we need here. So we could put them in here. Did we need copper? Yeah, this needs copper and steel, which actually is like just here. Like, there it is. To make heat pipes. I think we needed pipes for some of the other stuff. Yeah, these both need pipes, copper and gears. So if I bring the gears down, make these. As long as we have pipes. But we have iron plates here. I can make the pipes here. And then feed them in that way. And then here we can have these, because they also need pipes and they also need copper and steel, so we just do that. Okay, that actually wasn't as complicated as I thought it would be. Then we need to store each of those things. That. That. Our logistic filter, and let's have a wire for each of these. Enable if we have fewer than, that's the wrong thing, fewer than, what do these even stack to? Oh well, let's say 10. Those, 10 of those, and maybe 50 of those. Okay, and now the robots can rebuild our power plant for us from the things that we're making here. Or the things we would be making if we had enough power. You can see from the animation on this, see how slow this animation is running? Because our entire factory is running at half speed because we only have half the power we need. Is a problem. Mining, yeah, okay. Not robots anymore. We're back to it being mining drills and assembling machines. We could turn off research, but why would we do that? Then we couldn't research atomic bombs. The longer the game goes on, the more random stuff. Why is my car in here? I don't remember giving the robots my car. Excuse me. Oh, that reminds me. We've got all this stone. Yeah, I was going to use that stone to make landfill. That was actually going to be my demonstration of the blue logistic chests, but then we ended up doing nuclear power instead. If I put a requested chest here and just say request a million stone, 727 million apparently, you can ask for. Then the bots will just bring all the stone from those chests. Yeah, the bots should come and get this stone, and they should bring it here. Although they aren't. Why aren't they bringing it? 0 out of 0. Logistic storage 4279. Why are you not bringing it then? Okay, I thought I knew how these worked. Harry is going to bed. Okay, good night, Harry. We'll be ending soon ourselves as well. But this will not be the last episode, so fear not, Harry. There will be another Factorio episode where we demonstrate atomic bombs, possibly a few other things. But for now, sleep well, and I am planning to do a stream tomorrow if you're around. Okay. Well, let's not worry about that for now. We've used up this. Don't need any of that anymore. I think I do actually need to start bringing in stone by train now. We are down to just these these 7 stone miners. But that's not very much. It's only this much stone. And we do need stone bricks for our science research. So the last thing I do this stream might just be set up a train to bring in stone. Copy all of this. Here. We don't need 4 belts worth of stone, but I'll just reuse the blueprint that we already have. Decide where I'm going to get stone from. Do we even have a stone patch anywhere on the map yet? Oh yeah, we have one right next to the hopper. We can build another little spur off here for stone then. Work. So actually we don't need to go this way, so let's get rid of that. Just go this way. Oh, that's outside of construction range. Build it myself then. Nails again. Change the filters on these. This needs to be filtered to stone, not coal. I did set up these filters after learning the hard way that it's a good idea not to get the wrong type of item on the wrong belt. I need to make the train station. It's not going to be called unload coal, it's going to be called unload stone. These. Wait. No, what? This has happened before. Why is my coal train stop now called unload copper? Please. This is unload coal. Unload coal. Unload copper. Okay, I'm sure it changed. That's how my belts got all messed up before, because it changed the train stop name. out from under me. Okay. A burner inserter there. Actually, it doesn't. Yeah, it's only the coal train that needs a burner inserter, so we don't run out of power. We need a train. I'm doing train stuff while Harry isn't here. Oh well. It means we can do explosion stuff when Harry is here, which is a good thing. Okay, let's colour code it for stone. I guess we want to make it a sort of brownish colour. That's close enough. Signal. We have a bunch of mining drills, we have a bunch of belts, we have some inserters. I think we have everything we need. Don't need another roboport there. Let's hook this up so that it goes to our stone. Just needs to join on. There we go. Stone is the resource you need least of, I think. You need more iron, copper, coal, oil, and water, and possibly even uranium. You don't need much stone, but you need more than 7 mining drills worth of stone. You need a power line there. We do need a signal. This train. And also on that end. Go and build the stone mine. We might need another copper patch soon. This one is starting to run out. You'll notice we already had some miners that side that we removed because they run out. Now this whole side is basically run out. I missed a belt up here. These miners have never actually been mining. That's embarrassing. There we go. Now that one's immediately run out. There is another copper patch there. Quite small though. Probably have to extend our trains up here. I don't know how much longer we'll be playing, whether that will ever actually become a problem or not. It might not do. Right, for the stone, we do have the slight issue that the trains are on top of the stone patch. I think that's okay. We don't need this entire patch. Like 20 miners would be enough. Like this, yeah. This will be as much as we'll ever need. A stone. So I'll just ignore the fact that the track is overlapping the patch. Try not to get run over by the train. Would help. there. And we just need to fit a station in here. Thinking about it, I probably only need a 2-wagon train for all the stone. I'm only going to be having 2 belts to fill it anyway. Signals. Remember that we drive on the left. Remove 2 of these wagons. Station. There. Stone. Go to stone, wait for full cargo. Go to unload stone, wait for empty cargo. Repeat forever. I haven't bothered with any lights at these outposts. Maybe I should actually see what's going on here. Right. I'm lazy, so let's just go straight back. I don't think that's going to block the... I wonder if I could fit a train car in my pocket, asks LT Bago. Well, if you're the Factorio guy, I think this guy honestly is even more impressive than Minecraft Steve, who I realise can fit several times more gold than exists in the world into his pockets. But this guy can fit entire nuclear reactors in his pocket. In fact, he can fit hundreds of nuclear reactors in his pocket. So it really is very impressive feat of strength that he's demonstrating. Why is this stone not unloading? Oh, because those are not actually inserters. The bots didn't place them. They are ghost inserters. Right, once that's empty, train it back. And we have another source of stone. How are we doing for time? Yeah, I'll end things soon. We'll go for another, let's call it 11 PM when we end. So, another 18 minutes. Enough time to do some things. Fix the power problem, perhaps. Don't need all these rails anymore. I have some random things in my pocket that I have no idea how they got there. How do I have a depleted uranium fuel cell? Stop chasing me with rails, I don't want rails. If you cancel the logistic request, the bots will still chase you with the request items, but when they reach you, they'll realise you don't want it and they'll all fly away. So it is a bit of a... Oh. Right, how close are we to... Ah, yeah, so the bots have rebuilt this for us because we automated the ingredients. They haven't rebuilt the reactor itself. We do need a new one of those. And I will try and avoid shooting it this time. If I can possibly help it. Here we go. That needs to be filtered to just depleted uranium fuel cells, so we don't put other random things in there. Oh, we don't have any more fuel cells. Same. Well, now the bots are bringing me a bunch of stuff I don't want to replace the ingredients for the reactor. Silly bots. Look how many bots there are. It's like a swarm of bees flying around my base. You can even see them on the map view. Okay, okay. Right now power is still an issue, but I think power is an issue right now because of the bots flying around like crazy, not because of anything else. Right, in a minute they should calm down. They're still giving me 500 advanced circuits as well. Right, that should more or less have calmed them down. Going to check on the rocket. Oh, these machines have stopped running, so yeah, okay. We have a full stack of productivity modules. We don't have a full stack of speed modules just yet, so we'll leave that running for a bit. We have built another rocket. We have constructed another rocket. I won't launch it yet. We only need to launch rockets when we need more space science. And right now we still have 904 space science in our cargo landing pad. And then this little bit here. One of the things we'll do next stream is research one of the technologies that needs the space science. These infinite ones that get more expensive with every level. I wonder if I can automate this. Can I tell the rocket to only launch... I wonder if I can tell the rocket to only launch if there's a certain amount of space science available. It's going to be awkward because the landing pad is all the way over here. But yeah, can I attach this building to circuits is the first question, I guess. No, I can't. Okay. Yeah, I was hoping I could get this to tell me... I was hoping I could control whether to launch it or not. Oh, when the rocket inventory contains an item that has rocket launch products, e.g. satellite, it will be automatically sent to orbit. Okay. So actually, yeah, I can tell it to only put the satellite in if we have run out of space science. That should work. So right now, we don't have a satellite because we don't have enough accumulators because we don't have enough batteries. Somehow I've messed this up. The batteries are not supposed to be on the same side as the iron plates. How did I do that? Okay, at some point I completely broke this machine. Never noticed. It's now fixed. Making accumulators again. Yeah, we could tell this inserter to only enable it if space science is less than some number. But we'd need to run a wire all the way to the cargo landing pad to check how much space science it has. So let's... I mean, it's at least wires are free now. You used to have to pay for them with resources. Give me a sec while I run a wire the entire length of the factory. Sure I don't accidentally connect to any of these other green wires, otherwise funny things might happen. Altibago says, oh, in reference to the bots being a swarm of bees, maybe in a vision of the future where we have to build tiny robot bees because we were too dumb to save the real ones. Yes, please save the real bees. Thank you. Please plant bee-friendly plants in your garden and generally be in favour of environmental policies, please. Not just to save the bees, but also to save the entire planet, and also just because you should want the world to be beautiful and not be mindlessly focused on profits above all else. Okay, we have run a wire the whole length of the factory. Now we just need to bring it down to here, make another power pole. There we go. Right. Read contents. Yeah. So the wire, a signal will go down this wire, and the signal says, you can actually see the signal if I hover over here. The signal says we have 904 white science packs in here. So what I want it to do is, when that number gets to 0, I want it to launch a rocket to get us some more science. But it looks like you can't launch a rocket directly. So what I'll do is I'll have it build the rocket itself, and then I'm going to control the inserter that puts the satellite in the rocket to only put the satellite in when we run out of space science. And if I'm understanding the game correctly, it brought up a little tooltip when I looked at the thing that said launch automatically. Yeah, send to orbital. When the rocket contains an item that has rocket launch products, e.g. satellite, it will be automatically sent to orbit. If I tick this automatic, yeah, it's not launching the rocket now, it's only going to launch it when there's a satellite. And this is only going to be enabled when, see, the signal has come all the way back here, so the signal is now 904. When that goes down to 0, it will launch the rocket. We need to put this inserter back. We are making accumulators, so that satellite will finish building. Okay, we have now fully automated the space science as well. So the factory can pretty much run itself at this point. The only thing bit that it can't run itself is when it eventually runs out of resource patches, which will happen eventually. How are we doing on power? Better, but not great. Yeah, we're still making nothing from nuclear. What happened to our nuclear power? Are we not getting any green rocks? Oh, I can see some bright green rocks. Hang on. Oh. Well, inserter went. Okay, green rocks are back in there. We are still busy centrifuging. We are actually centrifuging faster than we can mine. These two centrifuges aren't doing anything. So maybe we should build some more miners. This is quite a small patch. It's a very, very small patch, but it's also the only patch I can see anywhere on the map. So when we go exploring for more oil, we might have to go exploring for more uranium as well. Merge that in there. We need to pipe in sulfuric acid as well. We're using up all our sulfuric acid for this as well. We might need to build more of that. I know the green glow is unrealistic, but I do like how it glows in the dark. I almost don't want to put lights in this section just so you can see the green glow. Maybe I'll put a light over here. And then not put a light here so you can see the green glow happening. Really got the short end of the oil and green rock stick with this spawn. We did, yes. I mean, uranium is supposed to be rare, I think. But I've never, all the multiplayer games I've played, and the incomplete single player game that I've done a couple of as well, I've never seen this little oil on the map with the default settings. I mean, you can turn down the settings to have even fewer resources. I'm not sure why you'd want to, but you can. Okay. We've only got a few minutes left in the stream, but I think maybe the last thing we should do today is go exploring for more oil. Let's optimistically build some pump jacks on the assumption that we do manage to find said oil. We have our car somewhere. We don't actually have much fuel for it. You can run a car on solid fuel. Actually, can you... Okay, let's answer one question, because I did wonder about it. Can you have nuclear-powered cars? Because there were two types of uranium fuel. There was uranium fuel cell. And then there was nuclear fuel, which was rocket fuel plus uranium-235, which sounds like a fascinating combination. Do I have any rocket fuel in storage? Okay, I do have rocket fuel in storage. And what was the ingredient? Oh, it does need a shiny rock though. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to set up a splitter here, so half the shiny rocks we get go in here, and the other half are going here. And then I want to try and make some nuclear fuel. Nuclear. Which is... Oh, is it made in a chemical plant? Does it tell you when things are made in chemical plants, or do you just have to know? Oh, it's made in a centrifuge. Ah, okay. Another centrifuge then. El Tobago says, some people really enjoy the struggle, I guess. Things like Minecraft Skyblock and such wouldn't exist otherwise. Fun fact, there is actually a Skyblock map for Factorio, but it's called C-Block because you can't really be in the sky in this game. And you just get a little square of land surrounded by water. However, that game has a mod that lets you craft things from water. You use a huge amount of water to craft stuff, I think, or maybe it's from stone. Either way, the premise is you start with a tiny island with a stone patch on, and you have to mine the stone, make it into landfill and then use the landfill to expand your island. And as you've seen, landfill is very expensive in this game. But you would need to get all the other things to do technology. So I think it does exist in Factorio, but only as a mod. Whereas Skyblock is actually I'm sure there are modded versions, but the Skyblock is actually like a vanilla Minecraft thing. You can beat the game with surprisingly few items. You need like 1 bucket of water and 1 bucket of lava to make infinite cobblestone. You need 1 sapling to plant a tree to get wood, as long as you get another sapling from that tree. You need 1 grass block, and then there's a way to make dirt, more dirt, which you can then use to spread the grass to get more grass blocks. It's a long time since I played Minecraft, but something like that. Tibago says, I've seen a similar Core Keeper mod to Skyblock too. Oh, interesting. I had not seen... I was only vaguely aware that there were Core Keeper mods. Right, that needs to be a centrifuge. We would like to make nuclear fuel. I'm not going to belt the rocket fuel all the way up here. I'm just going to stick a thing in for robots to bring rocket fuel up here. Yeah, once you've unlocked these blue requester chests and all the production, all the items you need, you don't actually technically need belts. You don't need the conveyor belts at all. You could build an entirely bot-based factory. Every assembling machine could just be request a chest requesting what you need, machine, and then red chest providing the output. And then the bots would do all the transport of stuff between. The problem with such a setup is you would need literally tens of thousands of bots. And although this game is very well optimized for a video game, it's one of the best optimized games in existence. And you can run a surprisingly big factory at 60 FPS. It would slow down eventually with that many bots. Anyway, this is going to request rocket fuel. I'll go ahead and stick in the ones that I have. That's going to make a nuclear fuel. And let's see if we can put it in our car. It is a bit slow, isn't it? The other thing we can do now we have speed modules is stick them in slow machines to speed them up. Centrifuges don't come in tier 1, 2 and 3 like the assembling machines. You just have centrifuge. I can actually fit a couple more mines. Okay, that's pretty much the entire patch we're taking up now. Maybe a little bit. Yeah, we could make use of. Okay, nuclear fuel. Okay, oh, right. Not only can you run a car on nuclear fuel, you can run a car on rocket fuel as well, apparently. Okay, rocket-powered car I've got to see, but let's see the nuclear fuel. Oh, wow, yeah, okay, that's so much faster. It's hard to do a comparison, but let's show you, turn that off a moment. I'm glad they made the acceleration different as well as just having it be. So, I can't. Yeah, let me build a second car. rather than lose all the fuel from that nuclear fuel. So as a comparison, here is the acceleration of the wood-powered car. Okay, not bad. And here is the nuclear-powered car. Quite a bit faster. And it has a much higher top speed as well. In fact, a dangerously high top speed, I would argue. I just took out a pipe. Thank you for replacing it, bot. Also, fun fact, cars can be transported by belts. As I am now demonstrating. I need to get out of here without hitting the... Yeah, okay. I did not realise just how fast this would be. 140... still going up. 145. The trees barely slow it down as well. Okay, well, I now have a nuclear-powered car. That's a good way to end the stream, I think. Unfortunately, the brakes are not nuclear-powered. It's still just the regular brakes. So the most reliable way to stop is by destroying part of your factory. Okay, well, we don't need this car anymore. Should make the quest for oil easier. I mean, it should make it faster. Not necessarily easier. The problem is, I notice the car is already half destroyed. I can't react in time to obstacles that are approaching. Even this is the maximum zoom level, and I'm still. That almost destroyed the car. I'm still crashing into things. Okay, well, before we set off, I'm going to make more repair packs. But I'm also going to end the stream here, so let me drive back to my base. We don't forget what we're doing next time. Here we go. And we will leave things there. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. I am going to be back tomorrow, Monday, the 30th of December, for my final stream of the year. And this is an extra little stream just to make up for not doing any yesterday or Friday. And we will be continuing on with Teiji. We just have the bonus puzzles to do. So we should be able to make a stream out of that, and then we'll be done with that game. And then we will have a vote on Discord for which game is replacing it. Again, if you're not in my Discord yet, you're very welcome to join. I'll put a quick invite link in chat just in case anybody wants to. El Tibago says thank you for the stream. No problem, Tibago. Thank you for being here. Thank you to everybody else who was here today. Thank you to everyone who redeemed their flowers and their blowhighs and so on. I vote for Doom Eternal, says Tibago. Unfortunately, Doom Eternal is not going to be one of the options. However, I think you will like the options that I'm going to have for my next game. I'm sure there will be at least one thing in there you'd like to see me play. Yeah, extra Monday stream tomorrow at 7 PM, and then back to normal next week. So Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Friday will be new games. Saturday we will be continuing with 7 Billion Humans, if I can remember how that game works after a 2-week break. And Sunday will be more Factorio. Since we've beaten the game now, I might make it just one more Factorio stream to show off the late game technologies like the atomic bomb, and I might build a Spidertron as well because they're fun. And then we will have a new game in that slot as well. For Sundays, I'm going to start doing Mini Metro, which was requested by Alhuno. As well as, what was the other one? Gorogoa, which was requested by Sarah with Stars. I think that's a shorter game, so it might only be one stream, or maybe even less than one stream. We will see. Not only was it requested by Sarah Star, she very generously gifted it to me on Steam, so the least I can do is play it. Yeah, we're going to be looking for a raid now. If people have ideas for raid targets, please let me know. We always struggle on a Sunday because most of our friends have ended or are not streaming on Sundays. But I'm sure there are people out there that we could go and look at. Craig Bear is live. Go there. Equi seems to be playing The Witness. Ah, we could go there then. That is a very much an Emma game. Let me find. There's Equi. Equi is playing The Witness. 12 streams of Christmas Day 5. More puzzles. Oh God, it never ends. Is Equi's stream title. I'm sure he will enjoy The Witness if he enjoys puzzles. So we'll go there. Just get the raid set up. Hello Matcha. You're a little late. We are raiding out, but thank you for dropping by and redeeming Spring Gentian as your flower of the day. Wonderful, wonderful flower, that one. Really intense blue flower. Glad you could make it for your flower redeem. And hello also to Friendly Frogs. Yeah, it's tough, honestly, because half my viewers are saying, "Oh, this is really late. I wish your streams were earlier." Like Harry always has to go half an hour before the end. And basically my European viewers wish the stream was earlier, and my American viewers wish the stream was later, and I can't please both of them. But thank you, Friendly Frogs, for dropping by. If you stick around just a few minutes for the raid, maybe I can introduce you to a new streamer that you haven't seen before, by the name of Equi. Although, well, his username in most places is Equi, but on Twitch it's Equi backwards, which is IUQI. I'm not sure how you're supposed to pronounce that. And they are playing The Witness. This is a game I've played before. It's a puzzle game. I really much enjoyed it. Thank you, Friendly Frogs, for redeeming your flower of the day, which is a shepherd's purse. Yes, to Matcha and Friendly Frogs and anyone else who has just recently joined us, I am back tomorrow at 7 PM UK time. That's around 2 PM Eastern for the Americans. With some more Taiji, which is a logic kind of rule discovery puzzle game, much like The Witness, which we're going to now. Matcha says, "You go please Europeans, I'm fine here in America." I am, bear in mind I am a European myself. It is in my own interest that I get to bed at a reasonable time as well. So thank you for redeeming nothing, Matcha. And until next time. Oh, raid messages. Yeah, I should have put a raid message in chat. Let me cancel the thing a minute. If you would like to spam a raid message in chat, please do. It's that one. Or if you're not subscribed, use any emotes you like. But you can use some dancing dinosaurs if you want, if you copy this message. Sorry, I am not remembering what to do today. Let me get the raid back up. There we go. And yeah, so use that message. Say hello to Equi. Don't spoil The Witness, obviously. Yeah, until tomorrow, thank you all very much for watching, and bye for now.